adequately prepared?
I would say yes and no.
Because everywhere you look in this generation, there is an initiative that is targeted towards women, and there is a community for one purpose or the other. And a few of these communities, we have remote worker with the HER, meaning women, and we have attitude, which is HER, working at women's attitude towards work, and even so many other financial saving initiatives that are just targeted towards women, and even IMMERSE, targeted towards the personal transformation of these young women.
No, in the sense that most women, especially or ladies, the Gen Zs that we have now, not all of them though, are into the soft or baby girl life. They don't want to go into businesses or anything that will make them be financially independent.
I believe young women just have to find what their community, find where they will blossom, and find somewhere to get plugged into.
Some women are financially driven. They want to make their own money, be independent, and able to fend for themselves.
It gives audience to people, then it's something you could easily learn from.
Everything they need part-time is right in front of us. That's how social media has made it so easy for women in this generation, young women.
A lot of educative programs, you see a lot of things you could learn from. Then you see a lot of books you could emulate too.
In this Women's Month, for instance, what social media, Instagram has this feature where you suggest things to you,
the algorithm.
Yes, the algorithm suggests things to you, and then you can snooze it, hide it, or follow. So I know that for this month targeted towards women, you'll be seeing a lot of conferences, initiatives that are just advertising conferences and programs and communities to women. So that is just so readily available without women having to search so high and low to find anything. It's like young women should take community and mentorship very seriously, because it's a privilege to be able to stand on the shoulders of the women who have gone ahead, just to glean from their fields and to be able to learn, from their experiences, and to be able to see what the mistakes they made and the things that they would do differently. So I believe that the bold steps are actually in the hours committed to taking the courses, reading the books, and just learning about their stories, reading about their mistakes and their wins. So that in itself, when you show up with knowledge, armed with knowledge, would help you accelerate action, no matter whatever sector you find yourself.
My name is Oyewole Titilopekendi. Actually, let me say finances. There was a time I needed money I was a student then, OAE student, so I needed money to just do one or two. So I was like, what can I do for myself? And I've always loved this fashion brand and something, so I just started as a student, and by God's grace, here we are today. Yes, I believe. Honestly, I believe if we can empower women more, both financially and in knowledge-wise, you empower them about the business, not just giving them money, you empower them, and we have people to encourage them, like husband encouraging wives, brother encouraging their sisters. I believe women can do more. This is my business, and I'm doing very well. So I believe if one or two, someone like me can be empowered, I think they will do better and do much more than me.
Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Live Awake Conference, LAC. For those of you who have been wondering, what does LAC mean? LAC 2025 IWD edition. I'm so delighted to be here. I'm happy and excited to welcome you to this year's edition in collaboration with HerVest. We're happy to have you here. If you don't mind, please let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from. My name is Ngozi Divine Brazil, NDB for short, General Manager at IMMERSE Coaching Company. I'm happy to be your host for this beautiful session this evening. You're welcome, Mimi Ivy. You're joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. I'll just be checking YouTube to see the responses. Sarah says she's joining from Osun State. You're welcome, Sarah. Dr. Donna, you're welcome. We're happy to have you, delighted to have you here. Yomi, you are welcome from Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. Yemisi, we're happy to have you. Thank you for joining us from Canada. Mary Blessing from Abuja, you're welcome. Who else? Let's keep it coming, please. Impacting Lives. Is that your name? You're welcome. Taiwo, you're welcome from Ibadan. I see Jifa from Ghana. Welcome. Rosalind Balogun, you're welcome. Nomvula Moloko, she's joining us from Pretoria, South Africa. Nodem from Cameroon, you're welcome. Glad to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is LAC 2025. LAC stands for Live Awake Conference. Live Awake Conference. In case you're wondering, what does it mean? Live awake, literally, to live awake, to step into your boldness, to live audaciously. That's pretty much what it's about, right? And this year's edition, it's in collaboration with HerVest, our partner, our financial partners, and it's in honor of the International Women's Day celebration. We're happy to have you. We're delighted. Welcome, Mercy from Ogun State. Welcome, Ngozi, my namesake from Port Harcourt. Welcome, Lemuela from Bayelsa. Welcome, Dr. Donna. Okay, she said, I can feel it here in cold and rainy London. Okay, you're welcome. Sending you all our love. Darling, you're welcome from the US. Kemi Akpata, you're welcome from Port Harcourt. We're so happy to have you. Please let's get our friends in. If you know anybody that registered and isn't here yet, tell them we're live at the IWD edition of Live Away Conference. If this is your first time joining any of our events at IMMERSE Coaching Company or anything that HerVest itself has put together, or this is the first time you're even interacting with anything from IMMERSE Coaching Company or from HerVest, please put it in the chat and the ushers will be with you to give you a welcome package. But you're welcome. We're so happy to have you here today. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Zaka, you're welcome from Abuja. Adeteju from Ghana, you're welcome. Francisca, you're welcome from Osun State. You're welcome. So beyond just telling us where you're joining us from, can you take it a step further to say where exactly are you right now? Are you stuck in traffic? Are you on the road? Are you on your bed? Are you in the office? Are you in the kitchen? What are you up to? What's the Wednesday looking like over at your end? So let me know. Okay. So yeah, let me know, not just where you're joining us from. If you're in transit, if you're in traffic, if you're wherever you are, let me know. Cherry says she's at work. Francisca says, I'm in my room chilling. I love it for you. Remy says she's joining in from the US. Where exactly in the US? Are you in the office? Are you at home? Wherever you are, let us know. Faye says she's on her bed. Hopefully you don't sleep off. But yeah, Precious says she's on her way back home. She just closed from work. Princess is in the office. Mimi is at home. Rosalind Balogun is in the office. Comfort is at home. Debbie is at work. Aina says she's preparing for school resumption. You're welcome. Someone said I'm at home cooling. Do you mean chilling or cooling? Cooling down. Did you have a hot day figuratively or literally, let me know. Okay. Sending you all the coolness and cool breeze to calm your nerves down. Olua Fumilayo says she's currently in the office. Thank you for everyone who's made the sacrifice to be here. Thank you. Right. You could be somewhere else on this Wednesday evening. You may have had a stressful day and you're like, I just need to drink water and mind my business or rest my head. I just need to calm down, right? But you chose to be here. You're committed to your personal development, your personal transformation, your financial empowerment. You're like, this year 2025, it will not be like the other years where I've said I'm going to it's going to be my year, and there's nothing I'm going to do about it. No, this year you are actually going to put action where you've put your word. So if you've said something, you're going to put action to it. And that's why we're here today, to just get empowered with the right knowledge, the thinking, the tools, the strategies that will help us make a difference in our lives in 2025. And if you've seen the lineup of speakers, you will know that, okay, these are people that are actually excelling in their industries, in their spheres of influence. They've been able to step out and live audaciously. And that's why we're coming to learn from them today, right? There's something that is bringing you here to learn from them. So I'm excited. Who is excited with me? I am so excited to be here this evening. I want to hear from all our speakers. So take it a step further beyond telling me, okay, I'm at home, or someone says I'm at home remote working. Yes, it's a hot day. Beyond that, tell me why you're here. Why are you here this Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, whatever time it is for you in your country or where you're joining us from? Why are you here? What brought you here? What made you sign up? Is it the speakers? Is it the topic? Is it someone, a friend that dragged you here? I want to know, what is it that interested you in being here? For me, it's a full package, right? I'm all about, women empowerment. I want to see how I can also empower myself so I can go about empowering other women, right? So I want to see how to take back like my economic power. I want to be transformed. I want to advance in my finances. I want to just keep upscaling and upskilling, right? So they said your biggest competition is you. So I want to just be the best version of myself so that I can go about and help other people be the best versions of themselves. All right. Favor says, I'm here to learn more about personal development. And what actually interested you is the lineup of amazing speakers. You can say that again. You can say that again. So Sarah says, I'm here to learn and be inspired by these seasoned resource women. Yes, the women are actually seasoned. Yes. The topic, the speakers, and I want to be empowered in the areas focused on. Okay. My sister dragged me here, but I'm grateful she did. I love it. Right after this session, it's not just saying you're grateful. You will go back and say thank you for literally dragging me. Thank you for bringing me here. All right. Francisca says, anytime there's a webinar by Immerse, I know I'm in for a profound treat. I love it. Also, I want to grow so I can help other women grow. Thank you. If you know, you know, right? And this year, Immerse has said, beyond what we can even offer you, how about we collaborate? This one, a real collabo. We collaborate. So we're partnering with HerVest, our amazing financial advisors, to help us collaborate and empower women financially.
For years, the conversation has been centered around equality. But equality alone does not solve the problem because the circumstances are different.
The business world is shifting towards more inclusive, value-driven models, recognizing that women's efforts are not just beneficial but essential.
So businesses need to prioritize gender equity, by allocating the right support that allow women to succeed.
Corporate bodies can actively contribute to accelerate actions for women by investing in funding systems that are women-centric.
Empower women with the right tools through mentorship, professional development, flexible work structures that enable them to thrive.
And also equipping them with the right knowledge for leadership opportunities.
As women thrive, then the entire organization will benefit from that and also thrive.
I see a future where women confidently step into spaces of leadership and influence, not just out of mere representation, but because they are better equipped, empowered, and ready to drive solutions that transform the lives of others.
A world where women do not have to choose between their ambition and their responsibility.
A future where women rise with audacity, where they blend in with their unique brilliance.
Not just in creating the space, but also in creating pathways for leadership and growth.
To shape systems, to rewrite the narrative for generations to come.
I see a future where women
just say go for it. Do it. Just do it. Do it afraid. Do it scared. Do it nervous. But just do it.
Your voice, your impact, and your dreams matter. Own your story, take up space, and never shrink to fit into places that weren't built for you. Build your own. The world needs you just as you are.
That dream or that vision is just go for it. Start somewhere, and your future will thank you for it. I think my vision is just a place where we are seen. We are not just seen as women, but we are seen as people, intellectual people that can contribute tremendously to a society.
One where women lead unapologetically, build generational wealth, and thrive holistically without barriers or limitations. Women should take seats at every decision-making table, but not just take seats, but also build tables for other women to step into as powerful architects of change.
I believe that what has helped is the media. We've been able to portray our stories, we've been able to tell our stories, we've been able to show our successes, our failures, our journey, our evolution. And I think because of that, it has given us track record to be able to get the buy-in that we need from stakeholders, from partners, from sponsors, and just basically who we need in our corner.
Ideation of Africa contributes to the financial empowerment for women by equipping them with the knowledge, resources, and networks needed to build sustainable enterprises, access funding, and drive economic impact. We further strengthen financial empowerment for women through three pathways. First, capacity building and business development through policy advocacy and economic inclusion, and also through networking and mentorship opportunities.
So we say at IMMERSE that a transformed mind leads to a transformed life, which leads to a transformed society.
There's something we usually say at IMMERSE Coaching Company, which is your paradigm elevation plus purposeful action equals to personal transformation. And what does this mean? It means that once your paradigm elevates, in the sense that your habits, your belief system, the things that you do, it changes, right? It aligns, it begins to align with your identity, your potential, who you really are. And then you add that to action, you put action, purposeful action in place, you begin to have that personal transformation.
Ask yourself, okay, what does financial freedom mean to me? So for some people, it could be increased maybe earning capacity, breaking away from debt, or cutting down on impulse buying and all of that, right? So all of these things I'm assessing starts from even self-awareness, becoming so aware of your financial situation, right? So when you become aware of the financial situation, you're able to seek help from either the right coaching, maybe becoming or talking to a finance expert, joining platforms that offer you an opportunity to maybe save and manage your expenses better, like HerVest, for instance, right? And then just thinking about ways to all right. Sorry for the break in transmission. We're back now. Please confirm that you can hear me good and we're good. Confirm that you can hear me clearly. I just want to make sure we're good. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We apologize for the break in transmission. Yeah. So I see a man here. He said he's repping the men here. We're delighted to have you. And I'm curious as to what made you register to join, Mr. Ephraim. But yes, we're delighted to have you join us here today. So I was asking about what's made us register to join the event today. Let me know what made you join. Someone says the line of speakers. Another person said her sister dragged her. And then someone else said anything by IMMERSE. They are always keen to join. And I was speaking to say, if you know, you know, right? So for members of the IMMERSE community, you already know. And this year, as part of our goals for the year, we want to continue to expand our reach beyond our direct audience. Okay. So beyond our direct audience, we want to reach out to a wider group of people, right? And that is why we have collaborated with HerVest, our financial partners, to bring to you this epic event in honor of International Women's Day 2025. So yes, we're happy that you've joined us today. And I'm looking forward to reading from you since the chats are now really, really quiet again. And so let me read from you before we get into the next item for today. You're welcome once again. We're happy, wherever you're joining us from, we're happy and delighted to have you join us this evening or this afternoon or this morning, whatever time it is for you now. Let's read from you. Okay, all right. Okay, then. We welcome you once again to Live Awake Conference. For those of you who are new here, we welcome you. Live Awake is an annual conference that we organize at IMMERSE Coaching Company. And we recently started organizing it in honor of International Women's Day. And this year is no different. But what makes it stand out is our partnership with HerVest. And of course, this epic event we're bringing to you this year. So we'll be having our first keynote session with DDK. So we'll just get to play her video by you and then we'll bring her up. Who is excited? Let me see it in the chat while her video is playing. Let me see your excitement in the chat.
Author, keynote speaker, public policy advisor, corporate trainer, and transformational coach for visionary leaders. Through her work of coaching, consulting, and capacity building, Debola deploys her extraordinary gift of unlocking potential in people, institutions, and nations. She is the CEO of IMMERSE Coaching Company, a professional coaching practice, Executive Director and Ideation Hub Africa, a public policy and impact advisory firm, and founder of Future Forward Female Movement. Across these organizations, she leads a vibrant 100,000 plus community of changemakers and visionaries. Debola is a certified visionary leadership coach by the LAC of Global Coaching Certification, a Gallup certified strengths coach, a certified masteries practitioner by the International Association of Coaching USA, and renowned for her archetypal coaching frameworks as well as for regional assessments. In 2018, she was selected by the US government as one of Africa's most promising young leaders and the Mandela Washington Fellow. She has been honored as one of 100 most inspiring Nigerian women 2019 and was announced as Nigeria's leading coach at the 2021 Motherland Awards. She has also been recognized as one of Nigeria's 50 most inspiring women in Nigeria 2022 by Business Day, Nigeria's 50 most inspiring authors 2023, 100 Women Shaping a Better Africa 2023, ABCD Africa's 50 most impactful voices 2023, Peak Performing Woman of the Year 2023, Mentor of the Year 2023, Top 5 Nigerian Women Empowering Women 2024. DDK, as she is fondly called, is an author of 26 books to date and has spoken across 3 continents to emerging and established leaders. She is masterful in high-tier coaching for crafting go-to-market strategy, rapid execution techniques, visionary launch and mastery, personal reinvention, ministry growth, and wealth expansion. Ladies, please welcome Debola Deji Kurumi.
Hello, everyone. I'm truly excited to be here. Happy International Women's Celebration. We are still at the heart of the celebrations at this time, and they will go on throughout the entire month of March. In fact, for as long as you desire that they continue. I've been reading in the chats, getting a sense of how you're feeling today, where you are, what your expectations are, and where you've joined us from. So thank you so much for being here. I want to thank IMMERSE Coaching Company for having me. I don't take it for granted. Though I am your current CEO, you could have still made a choice not to have me on the lineup. But thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and the access that I get to have to incredible leaders and visionaries like each of you on the call today. I want to also specially celebrate our partners at HerVest, that is led by my remarkable dear friend and sister, Sholape Akinpelu. Thank you so much again for partnership. This is not our first partnership, and it just gets better every time. I feel like our collaboration is so aligned because we are sort of really connected on the levels of the values we hold dear, the change we seek to create, especially for women of African descent, as well as the work that we have committed to do for those who are, for purpose, for prosperity, and for power, which is every one of you on the call. I also want to take a moment to celebrate the men amongst us who are the he for she today. Thank you for being in a room like this. I believe that it definitely strengthens your ability to recognize where the conversation is going as far as the need of women are, and the ways that you can also partner to, help us accelerate action and help us accelerate possibilities. I will share for a few minutes, and I'm really hopeful that all through our time today at Live Awake Conference 2025, you would have a lot of actionable moments. I know that there are many conversations, many webinars, many events, many, articles and resources that are out there in celebration of International Women's Day this year, and that is very commendable. But one of the things that, if you remember, I shared in that short video on IG when I was sending my regards for the celebration was around the need for critical conversion. We're now in a season and a dispensation where we have to be intentional about moving to action. And I am so aligned to the theme of IWD this year around accelerating action for equality, for economic growth, for sustainable development, and for, even personal transformation that can happen to women and through women for the world. So you're likely, if you're passionate about personal growth, you're likely to find yourself in a number of these conversations and a number of these rooms. But we want to be intentional to really make 2025 an action year. We want to make it an action year. So, have that very strong bias to actually move into the breakthroughs of being a builder, and, maintain a very strong intention to go ahead and execute whatever you find to be the most relevant for your own space and context. Again, you're welcome, and thank you for having me. I want to spend a few minutes just highlighting some thoughts around what it will take us to thrive in the global marketplace and the requirements that we now have today as emerging or established female leaders ourselves, in the way that we position ourselves correctly within the context of work, the context of economic opportunities, businesses, even in the context of ministry and faith-based ventures, how we really begin to position ourselves to be able to thrive, to be able to succeed, and to be able to attain audacious goal achievement. I want to start off by saying to you that in the presence of all the movements and the efforts toward women empowerment, the ultimate responsibility for women empowerment lies on women. And this is my conviction. Now, that does not mean that there are not many external resources that are required at the granular and the grand scale for us to be able to effectively succeed sustainably into the long term. But you as a woman have a critical responsibility and a major role to play to ensure that you really thrive. You see, you are in that driver's seat. I know that systems differ and there are severe environmental factors that can place huge limitations on women. But I will say this tongue in cheek. My conviction, both by experience and by research, is that the last 5 years have become a lot more favorable for women. Are we where we want to go? Maybe not yet, absolutely not yet. But are we where we used to be? I would love to say we're not where we used to be. And when you even think about women of African descent, and you think about the unique context and the unique challenges that we are faced with within developing economies that you find on the continent, there have been more opportunities. Some of these opportunities have been created by multilateral institutions. Some have been created by better policies from government. Some have been created by the grand interventions of nonprofit actors, international development actors, social impact institutions, NGOs. Some of these opportunities and advancements have been created even by the church and by mosques in the sense of organized religion. But the point is, where we used to be in the early part of the last decade to the middle of the last decade, onto the beginning of this fresh decade, is definitely not where we are now. The last 5 years have grown us in access to markets, access to finance, better representation, even when it is just to be politically correct. But there have been more and more opportunities. And I would love to highlight that a significant percentage, up to about 40 to 50% of the opportunity streams, or what you call opportunity portals, that have now opened up to women have been created by women themselves. And this is very intriguing. In the midst of all the portals that exist for us, like some that I've mentioned, organized religion, international development, nonprofit partners, the government, business, the private sector, we actually find women arising through the tracks of careers, businesses, faith-based initiatives, policy engagement, and social innovation work. And women are rising through these tracks to create their own opportunities, to challenge their own narratives, to rewrite, and to redefine their own paths, and to leverage the power of bankable wisdom, bankable talent, bankable connections to open doors that they could not open before, or that others didn't open for them, right? So in the context of this different pathways and portals of opportunities, we find more and more women rising steadily into new levels of purpose, proficiency, possibilities, prosperity. And that is what I would love to see happen for you as well. I know that we've got our partner HerVest also sharing moments with us today, and they will get a chance to dive in a bit more into the context of what we require to step into more economic empowerment and financial freedom, and we will explore that a bit more. But in the next few minutes that I have with you, I would love to highlight a few things that I want you to prioritize in 2025 if you are keen to expand your empowerment, for thriving in the global market, and for climbing the ladder of opportunities locally and internationally to, sort of spread your wings and fly. The first arena of growth that calls you to accelerate action in is what you already know, and that is around your personal development. I know personal development often comes across like something that we can bypass for a later date, something that we don't have to prioritize immediately. I know how people take their certification seriously. I know how people take their exams seriously. I know how people take global mobility seriously. But when it comes to reading that book, taking that course, becoming a part of that community, we sort of feel like it's a nice to have. But I believe that we're now in a time where the urgency and the agency that is required to attain greater levels of success and significance is at an all-time high. And I want you to put that in the chat for me, that I require urgency and agency for my significance. I require urgency and agency for my significance. We do have a need to make more radical investments in personal development, in education and skill evolutions. You have to expand your expertise, and you have to break through in brilliance. And you would hear us talking about expandable expertise all the time, that anything is figure out able, and you can grow mastery. You can grow majestic mastery from one level to the other if you want to break open new portals of opportunity in your life. The second arena that I 100% believe HerVest will still speak to a lot more, but is going to be critical for you to open up more opportunities and to accelerate your growth so you can thrive in the global market, is surely around financial mastery. And over here, it's not primarily about first what to do with money. It's really first about what do I have that I can convert to currencies that I could earn from. It's in levels, right? Before you talk about managing money, you have to make money. And before you talk about multiplying money, you have to manage money. So you have to be able to make money, manage money, and then multiply money. And my focus personally is really around a fresh set of skills and knowledge that women need to be able to create and consolidate value. Many of us are loaded with valuable currency that we're not converting to money. And so you have to know how to solve bigger problems, and you have to know how to create more value, and you have to know how to liquidate your bankable talent and gifts so that you can be rewarded for it. This has been a major breakthrough for me and a community of women. And if you want to thrive in the global marketplace, then 100%, you definitely want to grow that mastery of the value creation process. And I mean, the first two are quite connected. So the more that you expand your expertise, the more likely that you are able to solve a bigger problem and create more value for your audience and your segment, and you can convert that into earning power. The third thing I would love to encourage you to explore going forward, especially in 2025, is around access to markets, and it is the requirement for partnerships. It's the requirement for global partnerships, global mobility, and I really highlighted this as well during my, celebratory video to you on Instagram. I want you to have your eyes on becoming more intentional about spreading your borders and your tentacles beyond your domestic arena, your domestic terrain. I want you to know that where you live does not have to be the delimiting factor for how far you can go and those that you can impact. Where you live does not have to stop or limit who you can reach and how far you can go. And when you start to leverage partnerships and you leverage technology and you leverage media, you are going to open unprecedented doors to the world. Some of us have to open the windows of the world. And this is definitely a way that fresh opportunities can come to you, even without leaving the comfort of your locality, the comfort of your country, or the comfort of your home. So you have to carry a richer desire to see the world, to explore the world. Where you live does not have to stop who you can reach. And some of you know that in the course of the last decade, we have built a global community with our members living in more than 100 countries of the world. I haven't traveled 100 countries of the world, but I have been in the homes and the hearts of several tens of thousands of members who live in more than 100 countries of the world. There's nothing more global than that. I'm telling you, there's nothing more global than that. It's really just about being able to reach those you are sent to, regardless of where they live. And this is something I want you to really explore in the coming days. The fourth arena, and I will just stop on the fifth so that we keep this train moving. But the fourth arena I would love to highlight to you today is I want you to carry a greater research-driven orientation to understand global markets, global industries, and global problems. This is the requirement of the future. And those of us who step in early on this moving train are going to be distinguished solution providers, visionaries, and founders of repute in the course of another 1 to 3 years. So I want to challenge you to become more intentional about a research-driven mindset and action toward really understanding global markets, global industries, global problems. It matters for you to really begin to explore the trends of the times that we're living in. What industry do you play in? Are you in healthcare? Are you in digital, art? Are you in economic advancement or financial inclusion and financial services? Are you in construction and real estate or hospitality and tourism? Are you in media and entertainment? Are you in education or consulting and coaching? Are you in law and justice? Where do you play? You have to define and delineate very clearly where your work puts you. You need to, and this is even a very big part of framing your business model as an entrepreneur. The kind of value you create for the kind of segment you want to serve is also very connected to the trends and the drivers of the economy, the local and the global economy you find yourself, as well as the specific, derivatives of the industry that you are also in. So it matters for you to take a very research-driven understanding of what is happening in the world around you. Where is your industry going? What are the biggest problems that are emerging in the course of the decade in your industry? What policies or regulatory factors are going to be the most critical in shaping the solutions that your industry will need? Will technology disrupt your work, or would you leverage technology to further innovate your solutions? These are all critical thoughts that you definitely want to keep your eyes on in a very data-driven way. And then I would love to say that as you explore the landscape of the global economy, an easy way to break out of your own box is to think about partnerships. Look at what IMMERSE is doing with HerVest, and look at what possibilities exist in that partnership. And that is the same way you can look around you and you can begin to find alignment between you and those who do the kind of work you do, that you can grow with and build with into the future that you desire. So the other thing I find with partnerships that I would love to leave with you is, when we talk about global partnerships, I don't want you to have your eyes just on, I live in Zimbabwe, I need someone in the UK. I live in South Sudan, I need someone in Australia. I live in Nigeria, I need someone in Geneva. It could be, I live in Nigeria, I need someone in Ghana. I live in Ghana, I need someone in Kenya. I live in Kenya, I need someone in Ethiopia. Do you see this? These intra-African partnerships are going to become very significant factors of success for us in the coming days, and you want to begin to play to that now. I can also see Anglophone and Francophone partnerships on the continent of Africa becoming significant game changers for us, and you 100% want to play to that. Okay, the final thing I want to leave with you, and this is what we already do, and it's what I want to encourage you to play to a lot more. I want you to get into communities that are aligned to your vision. I don't want you to only even be in coaching memberships like the one you have at IMMERSE Coaching Company, or financial communities like the one you have at HerVest. I want you to take it to the next level by also getting into professional bodies and industry-specific associations, right? Attend that conference, belong to that association, volunteer to serve in its leadership. It's just going to be a game changer for women who want to thrive in the global marketplace. And thankfully, these professional communities often have a very virtual essence, where you may be able to be signed on to a global industry-specific association that then has its own regional groups that exist within your locality, but opens you up to a directory of fellow professionals who are in your space. Those will be very data-driven considerations that I find will be critical for female leaders in the coming days. And I hope that you will have found something you want to take action with immediately. I look forward to an even more engaging conversation all through the course of Live Awake Conference 2025. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being signed on to this experience, and stay tuned for more goodies on the way to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, DK. That was really, really, really profound. It's always a delight to hear from you, to learn from you. That was actually power-packed, so concise and straight to the point, and it was just opening our eyes to things that we need to focus on as women, and of course as men who are looking to multiply wealth in 2025, and how you can take advantage and just own your economic power in this year. Thank you so much, DK. One thing that you said that stood out for me is, she said, what do I have that I can convert to currency? That was really profound. And she also said, before you can even think about multiplying money, you need to learn how to make money. You need to learn how to manage money before you can multiply money in 2025. So that was so good. Thank you. The chat is buzzing with so much appreciation for you, and thank you. We don't take your time for granted at all. Thank you so much. That was so good. I think, and I know that we have started off with a bang. From what I'm seeing here, we started off with a bang. I'm seeing the excitement in the chat. Someone says it was power-packed indeed. And somebody said it was an action and thought-provoking presentation, which I actually agree with. It was straight to the point. It gave us like the steps to take if you really want to see a difference in this year. So thank you. And it was just interesting what she talked about, about how 40 to 50% of the opportunity streams have been created for women, have been created by women themselves, right? And you know how we've been talking about it all through the campaign leading up to this event. We've been talking about how even empowered women empower other women, right? So it's, if you're going to make 2025 work for you, you need to actually put these things into practice so that you can empower yourselves, you can multiply your income, and then you can go about creating other opportunities for women. So we'll be having our next keynote speaker in a bit. Before we bring her up, there are a couple of exciting opportunities and events that have been powered by IMMERSE Coaching Company and our partner HerVest. So we just want to let you in on everything that is happening right now so that you can see how you can take advantage of these exciting opportunities in 2025. Beyond just live a week, we're going to leave you with something that will keep you going for the rest of the year. So studio, you can play that before we bring up our next keynote speaker.
Imagine a world where minds are transformed, lives are changed, and societies are elevated.
My name is Modupe, and I connected with DDK about 18 plus months ago when my life was pretty much in a rut. And I can say that between then and now, I have grown so much depth. Interacting with her again on this level in Visioning 2022 has been nothing short of being mind-blowing. I think for me it's been affirming. You know, it's affirmed my thoughts, my decisions, my plans even for the future.
I am short of words, literally. I expected it, but I mean, the program went beyond my expectations, from confirmations to networking to seeing things that people have told me before. I mean, we expect a lot from DDK, but coming here and being in this room, there's a different sort of energy that I am living with.
The whole retreat was really about becoming. And there was something DDK said that struck a chord with me that I know that I'm living with. That's to say, you know, you have to shape your world before you can shape.
I felt relieved, I felt directed, I felt that like I could see my future self right in front of me. It was like I was dreaming in the room.
Are you ready to unlock the visionary in you? Join us for life-transforming events. The Majestic Manifesto, the Gen Z Edition, and the London Coaching Retreat 2025. Register now and start your transformation journey today. If it cannot enter your mind, it cannot enter your life.
Gbogbo ìlú ìṣe ń lọ wọ́n jọ kan ṣàánú àárẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ọmọ náà kó ṣàánú àkárẹ̀rẹ̀.
Ní tèmi o, pẹ̀lú gbogbo ohun tí ojú mi ti rí sẹ́yìn, ó máa ń nira láti rí owó yá lọ́wọ́ àwọn ènìyàn àbí ilé ìfowópamọ́ láti fi dókòwò. It can be frustrating. If they go out from the bank, their interest rate do go too much. It's very tiring.
That we were unable to farm because of the financial problem. They were barren lands. We cannot afford to farm them. And HerVest have brought joy to us. We have farmed the buried virgin lands that we are just lying down west.
Pẹ̀lú HerVest, ohun gbogbo ìṣúná ti di ìrọ̀rùn fún mi. Everything at Digolum easy. Far Dugo useful for me in all financial aspects. Tó bá jẹ́ ká yáwó ni, ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. Tó bá jẹ́ kí n ṣiṣẹ́ ni, ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé torí mo mọ̀ pé harvest ń bẹ lẹ́yìn.
For someone who is business minded and who is quite young, I like to try different things. And when I try different things, I know that I don't always win every time. I win some, I lose some. On the days where I lose some, I try to make sure that I have a backup somewhere. I try to make sure that I have savings that I can run back to, flexible savings, and HerVest helps me with that. HerVest helps keep me afloat.
HerVest. Here for her.
Personal power.
Vika!
Visionary vibe.
Vika!
Majestic mastery.
Vika!
Excellent execution.
Vika!
Remarkable results.
Vika!
VCAP has helped me and my team members put structure to the whole, to navigating that goal and getting to that point at the right time.
I joined VCAP because of the Good Head Tribe, and I have been audacious. I have done it afraid. I was bold. I overcame my fears and did the things that I felt like I could not do.
My biggest win has to be stepping into the limelight. It wasn't something I was comfortable doing. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do in the background. But my vision required that I stepped up, and VCAP empowered me to actually do that.
Turn your vision into a breathtaking reality. Discover the secrets to executing your vision with precision and clarity, building unstoppable leadership and influence, creating a lasting impact that transforms lives. Gain free access to 2 VIP coaching days with DDK and Tarafella Durotoye, and the VCA High Tier Execution Program to unlock the potential of your vision.
Who was excited watching those videos? Who was excited watching them? I was so excited. First of all, I'd like to thank our partners at HerVest for this exciting collaboration. And if you've heard of HerVest before now, please put it in the chat. If this is your first time, also put it in the chat. Let me see. Okay, so our partners at HerVest, they're a financial platform that offers savings, investment, and loan opportunities. So you saw the woman who said HerVest has helped her. She's been able to access loans, affordable loans, easy. Someone says, I use HerVest. Ooh, excited and happy. The exciting thing about HerVest is that their platform is completely free. You're not paying any money to access the platform. So go now. The links will be put in the chat. Go now. If you have itchy hands where you just want to spend, you want to live the good life, and you're not able to discipline yourself to save, please go now. There are different plans for you to save. At the end of this session, you're going to also get a free budgeting template courtesy of our partners at HerVest, right? If you also want access to financial consultation, they're available for you, and they're in the chat, so be taking in your questions, okay? Then we have a couple of exciting events at IMMERSE Coaching Company. Take advantage. The links will be displayed in the chat as well. We have a Gen Z edition of the Majestic Manifesto Conference. We have our London Coaching Retreat, our VCAP class of 2025 cohorts happening all this year. So the links will be put there. If it's sounding like so much English, don't worry about it. Just go through the links, read about them, and pick what works for you at this time. So I'm excited to welcome and introduce our next keynote speaker, our very own Ma'am Sholake Akinpelu. the CEO of HerVest and co-founder as well. So we'll play a video and then we'll bring her up for the next power packed session. Everything you've been hearing about finances, you're going to hear more and learn from the best today. So let's play a bio and we'll bring her up immediately.
Sholakpe Akínpẹ̀lú is an accomplished business leader, best-selling author, and gender finance expert. She serves as the CEO and co-founder of HerVest, a fintech company that provides inclusive finance to African women through savings, impact investments, and credit financing for smallholder women farmers and women-led SMEs. With over 70,000 members, HerVest is dedicated to improving women's lives through financial access and services. Sholakpe serves as the global co-chair of marketing for the Women in Tech Global Movement and as the country manager for Nigeria. She is also the chairman of technology at the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, promoting technology trade and investment between Nigeria and Britain. She is a member of the Presidential High-Level Advisory Committee to the President of Nigeria on Women and Girls Economic Empowerment. In addition, she sits on the Gender Committee desk at CBN on Framework for Advancing Women's Financial Inclusion. Sholakpe is a certified financial education instructor and a member of the Personal Finance Speakers Association USA and the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK. She has a background in financial marketing, having previously served as the head of marketing at Meristem, a leading investment and wealth management conglomerate in Nigeria. Sholakpe is a sought-after speaker, leading gender finance conversations both online and offline in various media outlets. Sholakpe is also the author of the best-selling personal finance book Stripped, an African woman's guide to building generational wealth. Ladies, let us make welcome Sholakpe Akínpẹ̀lú.
You're welcome. I'm so delighted to have you. The floor is yours now.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much, NDB. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. I don't know about you, but the energy, even virtually, it's palpable. I can hold it, I can feel it. And it's all around exciting, it's all around productive and, actionable, as the theme of this year's IWD Women History Month says. Thank you so much to all of you for giving us your time, for sharing your valuable time and data, particularly for the Nigerian audience. With the increase in data these days, being here is amazing, and it shows that you are definitely walking your talk. I'd like to thank specially the IMMERSE Coaching team led by PDDK. I have truly seen the experience of partnership and how much, and how fast one can go when there is true and aligned partnership. It's amazing. It's been amazing. We look forward to more of this, and then most importantly, we look forward to more of the participants taking actions and making moves that redefine their journeys in the most positive way. Thank you so much, and thank you, PDDK, for that amazing charge. Forgive me, I would have to present because unlike DDK, I cannot, well, maybe for now, put on all of that, okay, I'm trying to present my screen. Put on all of that up there, okay? So, just here, trying to share. Please let me know if you can see my screen, NDB. Can you see my screen? I mean my slides now. Hello? Oh, you can. All right, thank you. All right, thank you so much. I just needed to be sure. So I'll go right in. Yes, an introduction had been done, and this is just me and some of the positive and change causing activities in. But not to take much of your time today, I'd like to talk about financial wellness. At least I've been doing this actively, talking about financial wellness, particularly from a gender lens, charging women to be, to take charge of their finances from a knowledge base to an activity base for their homes, for themselves, for their future, and all of that. And it can quickly become monotonous, it can quickly become repetitive. Year in, year out, day in, day out, we keep talking about the same thing. Oh, we talk about the rules of budgeting, we talk about this, and then it gets to a point it feels like everyone, the information or the memo, as we say, has gone round and everyone is now well aware. But again, we are not still seeing significant changes. I said we because from an operator perspective, with a full-fledged platform that we keep building on, the adoption can be better. Its usage can be better, even though we see an impressive adoption of it. And that took me to realize that when you talk about financial wellness, it's actually an inside job. It is an inside job. And so I'll be speaking through what personal finance means. Like when you hear personal finance, what comes to mind? What do you think about? Well, according to the Corporate Finance Institute, personal finance is the process of planning, managing personal financial activities such as income generation, spending, saving, investing, and protection. And I think this is where we quickly mix things up because there are so many textbook ways, around managing your finances. There are so many textbook ways around income generation. There are so many textbook, methods around saving, spending, investing, protection, insurance, and all of that. But again, why are people not adopting them? Again, why are women particularly still taking the back seats when it comes to their personal finance? So let's quickly take a look at women and money in numbers, because numbers, again, as they say, do not lie, particularly verifiable numbers. In Nigeria, for instance, 76% of women are financially illiterate, according to a global financial literacy excellence center study. And what this means is that you can be, a PhD holder, you can be the savviest woman in the room, you can be the most exposed, but still be financially illiterate. 71% of women, however, said once they set up a financial plan, they felt more confident. I can relate with this. Once you have goals, once you set financial goals, once you automate, for instance, once you expand income means, and then you are well on your way to the financial goals that you've set, there is this peace that washes over you. I don't know if you can relate. It's just the same way where some people say, you know what, I feel like I'm depressed, I feel like I have got malaria, or I feel like, and in some of those cases, the challenge you're going through is you're probably broke, or your financial history is in a mess, or your financial state is in some sort of mess. So generally it's established that there is a lot of confidence in people, there is a lot of confidence in women once they set up a financial plan and they are on the right pathway to it. Now let's look at the top billionaires globally. Only 13% of the 3,323 billionaires in the world are women, and this is according to the Altrata Billionaire Census. Just 13% of global billionaires are women. And this brings me to the fact again that women conversation, particularly with money, still looks like a long conversation. But the question is that, is it doable? Is it actionable? By God, it is. So as I mentioned and established before, personal finance is an inside job. It's been established that personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. And what that states is that you can be even a genius at mathematics. You can be um um great with money, with numbers and all of that, but without adjusting some behaviors, without adopting some financial skills, it will just be a carousel for funds. It will just be a carousel for wealth. And so let's look at some ways to achieve financial wellness and financial independence from a behavioral perspective. And that takes me to talking about the 4 dimensions of wealth this evening. Oftentimes, when we talk about wealth, when we talk about finance, we only look at it via the expressions of money or assets. Money and assets are mere expressions of wealth. It isn't holistic wealth, because wealth is not in a single dimension. Wealth as it is, some really can be expressed in 4 dimensions. And all of these are intertwined, with each other. And this is where I say, work with me and come with me. For the 4 dimension of wealth, we have time wealth, physical wealth, social wealth, and financial wealth. And like I said, they are all symbiotic. And I'll just briefly explain how, they work with each other. Let's talk about time wealth first, particularly for us women. Generally, we know that time is, finite. You only have 24 hours in a day. There's nothing you can do about that. You can lose money and replace it, but you cannot replace yesterday. Yesterday is gone. If you miss doing something yesterday, the only thing you can do today is try to do it, but then you'll be doing it today, 12th of March, not again 11th of March, because we're not getting another 11th of March 2025 again, never again. And so with us women, what I've realized, from an operator perspective, from being a woman myself, is, firstly, what we call unpaid care, which is a beautiful, how do I put it now? I wouldn't want to use the word burden. It is beautiful to look after, our homes. It's beautiful to look after loved ones. It's beautiful to look after, family members, our parents, something I call, the Ada factor, for instance, where Ada, if you do not know, is the name given to the first girl child in most families from Eastern Nigeria. So because we are constantly holding forth for people in our lives, we are constantly looking after people in our lives, it's easy for time to quickly erode us. And it's cozy for us to, blame some financial irresponsibility, some financial illiteracy at the feet of, I was so busy, I didn't have enough time, I was looking after the family, and then I was taking care of grandma, and then, pregnancy happened, and then, we have so many legitimate and, valid excuses. But the truth is, you can buy back your time. You can buy back your time. And I'll give you an instance. In must have been around 2017 or 2018, I was still an employee at my previous employers. I live in Lagos, been here for a while now, and Lagos is Lagos then particularly, the traffic was very, very heavy. And I would do about 1 hour in the morning to work, and about another hour, 30 minutes coming back home every day. Well, in the first place, even having a car to take myself to work and back, is some sort of luxury. But I quickly realized that I was losing about 2.5, hours of my time. I was at a phase where I was already looking forward to starting to transitioning from being an employee to an, employer. and a steward of capital for particularly, towards women. And there was no way that I would have been able to do that effectively with the weight of the role I was occupying that time. And I was being careful to not to hit into the time, of my employers. So the first thing I did was to get a driver, that would be taking me to work, taking me around that time. A few friends, family, looked at that and felt like it was, a luxury that I didn't deserve at that time. And I tried explaining to them that it isn't even luxury. In the morning, I am there drafting, running, because before HerVest, we ran, a lot of surveys, speaking to people, doing tons of researches, getting some people on the road and all of that. So there were tons of work that needed to be deployed at that time. But what I did was to buy back some of that time that I was spending in traffic. Instead of getting frustrated and blaming, for instance, if I didn't do that, HerVest might not be here. The 70,000 women and counting that we've been able to impact might not have happened. But what I did then was to look into my time wealth and say, how can I free up some time for myself? And then I did that. There are tons of ways that you can do that for yourself as well. What are some repetitive tasks around you that someone else can take on your behalf, and you just delegate and then you supervise, so that you can do some high value activities that can move you forward faster towards, your financial wellness. I think that is a valid thought that we all have to lean into today. Of course, there's the social wealth, which is the second part as well. And the currency of social wealth is trust and value. Social wealth, which is also called social capital, and thank you, DDK. This alignment is always, always great when you mention and say, you know what, you don't have to be restricted. No, and that's the truth. We're not gatekeeping here. You don't have to be in IMMERSE alone. You don't have to be in HerVest alone. Join other social networks. When we say social networks, well, not Facebook or the vast social networks. We are talking about clusters that are aligned towards your goals. We are talking about clusters that are aligned towards your next phase and what you want to achieve. For instance, I can see some numbers of people saying, okay, this is our first time about hearing HerVest. Then that means that it is important that you join HerVest, because I believe that you probably want to invest, according to your values. You want to queue up and put your money aligned with your values. And then when we go to where we tell me more about HerVest, you have seen some of the videos, it aligns, and then you want to stay there. Some members of HerVest, for instance, are not in IMMERSE, then they want to join, a coaching community as IMMERSE. Then you find out like, okay, you probably need to join a technology community as well, and you look at maybe a women in tech, and you realize that, you know what, I want to join a trade community, and I say, let me join, maybe and I want to trade start trading in Europe. Okay, let me join MBCC, or that is Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, or let me join Nigerian German Chamber of Commerce, or let me join Nigerian Netherlands Chamber. There are just tons. Open yourself up, right? Open yourself up to social wealth, because social wealth, from where I sit, is the real wealth. Information, wealth rides on information. Wealth thrives on information and people, and that is what social wealth unlocks for you. Now, take note, and I'll repeat that for the second time, that the currency of this is trust and value. When you meet people, when you join these networks, lead with value. A lot of people have said, okay, I join and it feels like I'm not able to unlock anything. Some quick ways to unlock, these communities is leading with value. What I do when I meet, people that that I would love to, learn from, isn't just to say, you know what, I'd like to learn from you, or no, I lead with the value that I have. Oh, I have experiences in marketing. Oh, I have experiences, in building startups. Oh, I have some experience in fundraising. I would be happy to help if you need, any of this. And in most cases, it's worked, because you find out that in about 4 areas that you've established, someone needs your help with one thing. And then that way you can transact, value, not exactly in a transactional way or a selfish way, but, it is just an exchange that leans into itself and helps you move forward faster. So consider social wealth, consider time wealth, and of course, physical wealth. I don't even think I need to stress this. I'm trying to round up, quickly as soon as possible. Physical wealth, the first health is wealth, according to Ralph Waldo Emerson. The first health is wealth. I think this is the biggest of wealth. A sound mind, a fit body. A sound mind, a thriving body. It is essential to every other thing. If you are mentally pressured, if you are mentally cluttered, if you're mentally weak, there's so much that you can do. You cannot even be on this type of call or make the most of the conversations that you're going to be part of this evening. So ensure that you protect, your mind. Make sure that your body is fit, is in shape at all times, because of course you need the longevity and the agility, of your body systems, of your mind, to even make the most of your financial wealth. Again, I think it's also important to stress here about the hustle culture around these days, because my question to you is that what then is the purpose of gaining financial wealth at the expense of one physical wealth? So again, it is not saying, oh, you know what, hide behind the excuse. But and recall that I have said that the 4 dimension of wealth is symbiotic. If you are plugged into the right social communities, for instance, it makes the toll, it makes the hustle, on your mind, it makes the hustle on your body minimal, because you are leaning into the wealth, the experiences, of an audience, or of people that can help you accelerate things faster. So you do not have to do it by yourself. Tap into partnership so that you ensure that you have a physical wealth and sound mind that can help you make the most of your financial wealth, which are tangible assets like money, savings, investments, real estate, and all of that. Things that help you or give you the ability to meet your basic needs and desires. Of course, I know that most of the time when we talk about wealth, when we talk about finance, this is what we think about. It is good. There's no guilt around it. Shake it off. I always say that to women. There's this guilt around women talking about money. There's this guilt around women talking about wealth. It is your inheritance. Nothing, not there's not nothing absolutely wrong with it. However, you should know that wealth is not a single dimensional concept. It is 4 dimensional, and when you lean into the 4, it gives you a lot of balance. Again, this is another thought I would like for you to lean into, and if you don't take away anything, take this away. My father passed quite recently, and before he did, you'd grow up, and then by the time you are like in your early years, like say about 5, 6, 7, that is when you start building a lot of memories. For most of us, I'm guessing when you remember your parents, they are probably in their mid 30s, mid 40s, and they are at their prime. And those are the earliest thoughts in our minds of them, of our parents, of our mothers, fathers. And then, just looking at maybe the median age of people on this call now, I'm looking at somewhere around 25, just the median age. So I'm saying there are people as old as 50, not old in that sense. And then you have some people that could be in their 20s as well, or in their 30s. And then you have your parents or our parents who are in their 60s, 70s. Some of them are, nursing some illness here and there. Just think about it. I don't know about you, but it was a big struggle for me, to match, particularly in my father's last days, to match that viral young man who would ride, a Vespa what's it called, tricycle, across states in Nigeria, and took on a lot of projects and all of that, now became so weak. What I'm saying is that usefulness and time is fleeting. And so if there is a need for some level of urgency for you to grow and step into the 4 dimension of wealth, and it is not difficult, as I've said. By the time you spread yourself across those 4, buy back some time, lean into social capital, prioritize your health, and maximize all of this to gain yourself, physical wealth, you'd realize that it's easy. And so rather than struggling with, okay, they had said that I should budget, 20% for savings, I should use 50 for my needs, then 20 can go for my wants, and then you mix up the numbers again, and then it feels so difficult just to do it. Spread yourself again across those 4 dimensions of wealth. If you join a community like HerVest, for instance, you're getting meals directly. It helps you soak yourself into financial literacy, and it become easier for you rather than trying to catch up all the time. Youthfulness and time is fleeting. What are you going to do with your youth? What are you going to do with your time today? This is 2025. Live awake. Like I said, rules are great, but there's an exception to every rule. So start from where you are. That's just to reinforce what I said earlier. To say, yes, there are so many rules around budgeting, spending, and this and that. But again, start from where you are. If, yes, the budgeting rule says save a minimum of 20%. But if you cannot afford to do 20%, start with 5. There are always exceptions to these rules. And then you can keep ramping things up. So let's quickly look at quick actions for long-term success for all of us. Automate. Automation is the most beautiful thing that happened to me. When I started saving before ramping up into investments. Automate. It's easier for you to automate. You know why? Money has its own mind. If you do not have, find a direction for it, something would come for it, or it would go for somewhere. It's got wings. So when I don't know if you are a salary earner or you're a business owner, and then you do not have a set pathway that you've automated for your funds. Like I always say, before you know it, someone calls from the village, oh, grandma swallowed razor, oh, it's someone's wedding, and before you know it, your funds is just going in different ways. We are Africans, black tax is a thing, and you cannot really account for those things. But automate, pay yourself first, and those are one of the things that we've built into our products design at HerVest, where you can simply sign up, set your goals, automate them, and then every month, if you want it to be debited daily, weekly, monthly, you are in great company to help you achieve your financial goals. Then move from passive saving to active investing. Savings is good. IE savings accounts are everywhere. They are fine. But investing is even better. And that's why you need to explore compounding. And I always say stocks can be dicey, but it is particularly when you are young. But in short, there's a rule around, getting stocks. It is percentage rules that says if you are 30, it recommends that 70% of your investment assets should be in stocks, for instance. Right, so that means that if you're 40, then 60%, so it just balances the 100% rule. That means if you're 50%. So as you grow, you reduce your exposure to stocks. And recall again that why I said that usefulness and time is fleeting. So move from passive saving to active investing. At the moment, we do not have stocks on HerVest. However, we are happy to share with you and give recommendations, to stockbrokers where you can get your stock game going. But what we have is, our peer-to-peer lending model where you can invest in smallholder female farmers, where you can impact invest, in women entrepreneurs that need the funds the most. Build multiple income streams for financial security. This is a major tip that you should work on as well. 100% of zero is zero. We preach contentment. It is good. Live within your means. However, you can expand that means so that you're still living within the means, but it's an expanded, means. So build multiple income streams for financial security. These are many more things that I've spoken about in my book. These are many more things that you learn from when you join the HerVest community. And another one is invest where it matters. Invest, particularly ESG, environmental, social, and for governance, things that tick all of this for you. Invest along your values. We have the bulk of people investing, impact investing because they feel like they know for sure that for so long a lot of women have been underfunded, and at their levels they want to impact invest back into financially excluded and underfunded women, and they keep choosing HerVest for profit and for purpose. So for your quick next steps, I would like to ask you what you think, 10,000 naira, that is the Nigerian currency, can do for you today. Firstly, in the videos we saw, there is a discount code for IMMERSE community, our esteemed partners for this year, IWD, for the LAC conference, to get a whooping 20% on Stripped, my first authored book, which is very, very practical, which is research based, where you see personalized lessons, wealth building through the hoops and peculiarities of the African culture. You demystify wealth jargons for you, and you learn the phases of growing, preserving, and transfer of wealth. So you get 20% on that, and instead of 7,500, you buy for 6,000, and of course, the remainder 4,000 you can sign up on HerVest right now and lock in the first 4,000, automate your savings, or impact invest that amount in one smallholder female farmer, or an SME woman who needs that money. So with what you use to buy, let's say a wrap of shawarma, you can easily get that to set you up and set you up for good. For Stripped, an African Woman's Guide to Building Generational Wealth, is available on Amazon Seller and Roving Heights. And you can simply scan this to start your journey on HerVest, where you can save, impact, invest, and also get quick loans as well. It's been a pleasure sharing with you this hour, this time, and I hope that I was able to convince you that personal finance, firstly, is personal, and it is an inside job. And when you spread it across the four dimensions of wealth, it becomes easy for you because it is behavioral, more of behavioral than head knowledge. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for your time. And I hope that by this time next year, or even before then, we'll have so many testimonials about how, your journey got better from here and how you started living awake from here. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the event. I am still here right now.
Thank you so much, Sholape. This has been so amazing. We don't take your time for granted. I know the sacrifice that you had to make to be here as well. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'll just read the chats. A lot of people are grateful as well. It has been so. I think DDK started off by just giving us, the tips, and you've also given us practical tips on how we can become financially empowered in 2025. One thing you spoke about that stood out for me and was an eye opener for me actually was where you talked about buying back our time. You know how they always say time is money. Once it's gone, it's gone. So that just was an aha moment for me that, okay, I can actually buy back my time in 2025. So thank you. That was really profound. That was really helpful. Please take advantage of the discount. If you don't even know where to start from, the book Stripped talks about or gives you the guide, breaks down, like she said, breaks down all the technicalities to finances. So please take advantage of the discount. And like she has said, that shawarma money, that ice cream money, that parfait money, use it to start your savings and investment plan on HerVest. So cumulatively, there's a 50% discount. So IMMERSE is offering 30% discount off all our courses in honor of International Women's Day. So you use the link being displayed in the chat. And then HerVest is also offering 20% discount on the stripped book. So let's take advantage of that. We're so thankful to Ma'am Sholape as well. Studio, if you can quickly play the ad again so that people can see the code, know how to go about it, and just get the gist of what we are talking about. Please let's do that quickly before we get into the next session, which will be our final session for this Live Away conference, where we'll be talking and speaking with our panelists. So let's watch the ads again, and then I can share a little bit more before we bring up our panelists who are already here.
Gbogbo ìlú ìṣe ń lọ wọ́n jọ kan ṣàánú àárẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ọmọ Ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú àkárẹ̀rẹ̀.
Ní tèmi o, pẹ̀lú gbogbo ohun tí ojú mi ti rí sẹ́yìn, ó máa ń nira láti rí owó yá lọ́wọ́ àwọn ènìyàn àbí ilé ìfowópamọ́ láti fi dókòwò. It can be frustrating. If Borogode go out from the bank, their interest rate do go too much. It's very tiring.
Farms that we were unable to farm because of the financial problem. They were barren lands. We cannot afford to farm them. And HerVest have brought joy to us. We have farmed the buried virgin lands that we are just lying down west.
Pẹ̀lú HerVest, ohun gbogbo ìṣúná ti di ìrọ̀rùn fún mi. Everything at Digolum easy. Far Dugo useful for me in all financial aspects. Tó bá jẹ́ ká yáwó ni, ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. Tó bá jẹ́ kí n ṣiṣẹ́ ni, ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. Torí mo mọ̀ pé HerVest ń bẹ lẹ́yìn.
For someone who is business minded and who is quite young, I like to try different things. And when I try different things, I know that I don't always win every time. I win some, I lose some. On the days where I lose some, I try to make sure that I have a backup somewhere. I try to make sure that I have savings that I can run back to. Flexible savings, and HerVest helps me with that. HerVest helps keep me afloat.
HerVest. Here for her.
Imagine a world where minds are transformed, lives are changed, and societies are elevated.
My name is Modupe, and I connected with DDK about 18 plus months ago when my life was pretty much in a rut. And I can say that between then and now, I have grown so much depth. Interacting with her again on this level, envisioning 2022, has been nothing short of being mind-blowing. I think for me, it's been affirming. You know, it's affirmed my thoughts, my decisions, my plans even for the future.
I am short of words, literally. I expected it, but I mean, the program went beyond my expectations, from confirmations to networking to seeing things that people have told me before. I mean, we expect a lot from DDK, but coming here and being in this room, there's a different sort of energy that I am living with.
The whole retreat was really about becoming. And there was something DDK said that struck a chord with me that I know that I'm living with. That's to say, you have to shape your world before you can shape.
I felt relieved, I felt directed, I felt that like I could see my future self right in front of me. It was like I was dreaming in the room.
Are you ready to unlock the visionary in you? Join us for life-transforming events. The Majestic Manifesto, the Gen Z edition, and the London Coaching Retreat 2025. Register now and start your transformation journey today. If it cannot enter your mind, it cannot enter your life.
Okay, who's excited? I particularly want to speak briefly about our Majestic Manifesto conference Gen Z edition based on the data that we received. So from the data, we saw that we had a lot of young people register for this conference, right? So the Majestic Manifesto, it's an annual conference. We launched it last year in honor of our CEO DDK's 40th birthday. So this time it is particularly for the Gen Z leaders. Sholape has talked about social wealth, right? So you need to be in that environment where young people like yourself who want to do amazing things in the world, in the industry, in their specific industry, you need to come together to learn from young people like you who are already doing epic stuff. So we want to raise epic leaders, so emerging leaders, purposeful leaders, influential leaders, and creative leaders, people who come and shape the future in 2025, the future of Africa. So the link is displayed. There's the option to pay and attend for free if you're not able to afford it, right? So just use the link to read about the event and register. We're looking forward to hosting you. It's on the 19th of April. It's going to be all forms of entertainment, music, good food, good vibes, and just all shades of fun, as well as inspiring and educative as well. So thank you so much. I'm excited for this session. This is a session I know that a lot of us have been waiting for, the panel session. Who's excited? I can't see your excitement in the chat. I'm not going to call up our speakers until I see the excitement in the chat. The chat is quiet. You don't want the speakers, the panelists yet. You don't want the panelists. If you're ready, let me see that in the chat. Let me see the excitement. Okay, so we'll have our panelists' bios being displayed right now. To play, and then we get into the panel session as we start winding down on Live Conference 2025. Yay, I see the excitement. All right, studio over to you.
Shehu Ali is the CEO of HerVest Delivery, a pioneering logistics infrastructure company revolutionizing last-mile delivery in Africa. Under her leadership, HerVest Delivery has introduced innovative solutions like Safe Locker, a secure and seamless delivery system that enhances efficiency for businesses and individuals. Beyond logistics innovation, Shehu is deeply committed to empowering women in a traditionally tough industry. 85% of HerVest Delivery's SME clients are women, and 55% of its leadership team comprises women, a testament to her dedication to creating opportunities for female entrepreneurs and professionals. With a strong background in operations, technology, and business strategy, she continues to drive HerVest Delivery's mission to build scalable, tech-driven logistics solutions that optimize delivery experiences across Africa. Ladies, please make welcome Shehu Ali. Hawa Lawal is a creative content writer, screenwriter, and digital marketing specialist with a vast skill set. She has over 7 years of experience in digital content creation, marketing, and content strategy. While she has worked in organizations like Zikoko, Piggy Tech, and Cracks TV, she has partnered with 100 plus brands. She won the Future Awards Africa Prize for Creativity in 2023. She has built an audience of more than 1 million plus people across her different social media platforms, where she tells original women-centric stories. Ladies, please make welcome Hawa Lawal. Uchenna Nduka, widely known as Merchant China, is a dynamic business mogul renowned for her entrepreneurial expertise and commitment to empowering others. With a thriving empire spanning fashion for adults and children, she has become a go-to name for style, quality, and innovation in the industry. Beyond her success in fashion, Merchant China is a visionary business strategist dedicated to helping aspiring and established entrepreneurs kickstart their ventures and multiply profits. Her proven strategies and hands-on approach have transformed countless businesses, equipping their owners with the tools to scale and thrive in competitive markets. A passionate mentor and advocate for sustainable growth, Uchenna Nduka combines her business acumen with her desire to inspire others, leaving an indelible mark on every entrepreneur she supports. Merchant China's journey is a testament to her belief in the power of vision, hard work, and the right audience. Ladies, make welcome Uchenna Nduka. Imelda Alumona is a confident and feminine leadership coach and transformational speaker dedicated to helping women unlock their potential and access opportunities by leveraging confidence. With over 8 years of experience coaching and mentoring women, she has guided 70 plus women across Nigeria, Dominica, the United Kingdom, and the United States to break free from limiting beliefs, embrace their authentic identity, and step boldly into their purpose. Imelda is the founder of the Feminine Confidence Club, a growing community where women are equipped with tools to cultivate confidence, set boundaries, and navigate life with grace. She has been featured on TV for the International Day of Girls in ICT and United Nations International Youth Day, amplifying conversations on women empowerment and leadership. As a conference speaker, she has spoken across several tech events and women's empowerment initiatives, using her voice to inspire women to embody confidence from the inside out. Imelda believes that while the future is female, what is most important is the kind of female of the future. And she is on a mission to raise a generation of confident women who embody softness, self-respect, and leadership, proving that feminine confidence is a superpower. Ladies, let us make welcome Imelda Alumona.
All right. So, all right. I see our panelists. Oh, I can't see them again. Okay, welcome, studio. Please spotlight our panelists for me. Hi, Imelda, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I'm waiting on Hawa and Sheung to join us soon. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for creating time out of your busy schedule. Yes. Hi, Sheung. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. We've been here since the beginning, so thank you for creating time out of your schedule. Waiting for Hawa and Uchenna as well to join us. But we'll start while they are sorting out their devices. Technical team, please offer assistance to Hawa and Uchenna as well. please contact her. She's having some technical difficulties. So welcome. So happy to have you all here today at Live Awake Conference 2025 in honor of International Women's Day. And we're so delighted to do this with you. So I'm going to start with Sheon. In fact, just reading through all of your stories, your bios, your experiences, it was just enough inspiration that I needed for my 2025, right? So, for Sheol particularly, you're in the logistics business, you're the CEO of First Delivery. And we know, first of all, we know that logistics business in Africa, in Nigeria, is something that can drive anybody crazy. It is tough. It's also a male dominated industry, right? But you've been able to build a successful, super successful brand with First Delivery that I must commend you on. You've been able to incorporate technology to enhance like logistics in Nigeria, provide solutions. So what challenges first have you faced as a woman in the logistics business? And then what challenges have you faced generally, and how have you been able to overcome those challenges with your business?
Thank you very much, NDB Ngozi, I'm assuming, for that question.
Yes,
And
yes,
just
anyone
before I
is fine.
respond, I want to say a big thank you to HerVest, as well as IMMERSE Coaching Company. Special thanks to Sholakwe and DDK for this privilege. I did not take it for granted. So thank you for having me. I've been learning and listening as well. And I hope that I can also impact or share knowledge this evening. So to your question, and I like you've started the conversation for me. Logistics is very tough. Is a sector that resilience is non-negotiable. You have to be resilient as long as it's a place that you have chosen to play in. And the question one of the questions that keeps me going every day is, if logistics is tough, if it's a major challenge that businesses and even individuals face or deal with on a daily basis, if we all run away from it, who is going to fix it? How do we solve this problem that has lingered for so long, and there is no end in sight, by the way? So it's just the resilience to say that somebody has to contribute their quota into fixing this problem, and I am willing to do that with the army of men and women that God has blessed me with. And what I think the major challenge that I had faced was breaking into that industry. Bear in mind that I'd done 12 years in the banking sector. And from banking sector, I went into fintech, and I saw my earlier years was actually in the financial industry space. So I had never done logistics. I had no experience. In fact, it was a problem that sent me there. So there was that challenge of being able to even break into that industry in the first place, that its decision makers are men, the leadership are men. And even when I eventually to say that I want to do this, even people, investors, businesses, even the businesses that you're trying to solve the problem for, I want you, it should be a guy. We're not sure you have you have experience in this sector. You can't fix our problem for us. I would have thought that we'll collaborate and they will support and rally around you and say, let's do it. You can do it for us. But this is like, it's too tough. It's a lot for you. We're not sure that you can do this. So you had to deal with people. People were doubting my abilities to fix this problem. So it was a major challenge. So there was a lot of being dogged and resilient that kept me going. But how I've been able to overcome this challenge over the past 5 years is, one, mastering the industry. See, at the end of the day, we are going to get seats at the table as women. But when we eventually get the seats, what we do not want is to be doubted for any reason. We don't want people to assume that things fell on our laps just because we are women, or they are just trying to fill up spaces because we want women here. We want to be able to master our industry, like know our onions, and when we show up complete. So I think that that's one of the things that I continue to do. I'm not even there yet. So I'm learning about the industry, learning about logistics operations, understanding what technology is, continue to learn more about business strategy to be able to scale, help us scale at first delivery. Secondly, is building a strong team. And I think that Shalapi mentioned it when she was delivering her keynote. First of all, I realized that I couldn't do it by my alone. It's not a journey. It's a journey that never ends, right? And the ability to surround yourself with people with a solid and strong team would also help you, would take you far. Bishop Oyedepo would always say that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, then you have to go with people. So beyond mastering your industry, you have to build a strong team.
Yeah.
If your core is operation, my core is operations. I can do operations in my sleep, but I do not have strength in finance. Hire somebody in the finance space who can cover, who knows that space very well and can provide guidance, or guide you, or cover you, in that space. And lastly is allowing the results speak for themselves, right? A lot of times women, we don't want to bask in the euphoria of our success. We just want to downplay it. But it's okay. It's okay to show it. Let the results speak for yourself. At first, we've been around for 5 years. We have over 26,000 businesses. We have completed over 1.8 million deliveries. People cannot fight data. They can't fight the numbers. So the challenges are going to be there, but the ability to just curate a few things, to just just focus on those things. I want my numbers to speak for me. I'm going to build a strong team, and I'm going to know what they do in this logistics space, just so that when I eventually have it sit at the table, nobody questions me. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
I love it. I love it. Wait, did you just say 1.8 million deliveries?
Yeah, we've completed over 1.8 million trips.
And you just breezed over that like it was thousands. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's really commendable. Thank you so much for sharing. So you talked about, first of all, identifying a problem, gaining mastery of the industry, building like a formidable team, and letting the results speak for itself. I love those things. Hey, my chanchina is here. Good to see you, Mama. Happy to have you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the sacrifice you made to be here. How lovely, lovely, lovely about now. Okay, so how you're someone that I love, you're someone that I have been following for a while on social media. You give me joy. Let me just put it that way, right? So just reading your story was really, really inspiring, going from being a social media manager to now someone who has gathered over 1 million followers across her social media platforms. So how did you attain that? What strategic shift did you have to make? What mindset shift? In fact, what led you into what you're currently doing now? Tell us.
Hi everyone, it's so amazing to be here and to learn from women in different fields and women doing big things in their different fields. So thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me properly? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
we
great.
can. We can.
So I think that I started out, like you said, as a social media manager and also a writer under a an online company, and that's where I started. I studied journalism and communication and marketing. For my master's degree, I majored in marketing. And so, but then I just realized that I love to tell stories. I love to write. I love to imagine. I love to create scenarios and worlds in my head And so I started out as an anonymous content creator. So I just started writing anonymously online, and I would say that what has taken me this far is, first of all, consistency, waking up and choosing to do the things that you have to do, even though it's hard, even though you don't see any, even though you don't see any growth or any, you don't get any encouragement as such in the beginning, but you just keep growing. And so I think that that's majorly what has brought me this far. And also knowing that there are different people out there who would relate to your stories. For example, when I worked at a women-centric magazine called Zoomy, we wrote a lot of stories about women that a lot of women would write back and say, "Oh, this is what I'm going through. I relate to this." And so it was really interesting to know that, whatever it is you talk about, especially being a young woman in Nigeria at this time, there's so many stories that you can tell that young women can relate to, and because it's coming from a woman as well. So it's a combination of everything. And yeah, it's a combination of everything getting me to this place and getting me to where I am, which is not even where I want to be or where I plan to peak, right? So it's just a combination of everything, and I hope that in the future I get to do more for people and women in particular.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You talked about just the consistency, and that's something that is in alignment with even what Shane just spoke about as well. But before you got to the point of being consistent, what even made you start? Why did you decide, okay, my voice needs to be heard? I have a lot of stories I want to tell. What made you even start what you're currently doing?
Okay, so what made me start what I'm currently doing? I think it's just, first of all, like I said, I love to write, and um, I started as a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but like I said, I used to work as a social media person. And so when I was doing it, I realized that, oh, wait, I like this because I was just supposed to be at that social media job for about 3 months. But I ended up spending about 4 years at the job because I just really
Mm.
liked it. And when it was time for me to leave, I realized that I don't want to keep doing this. I mean, I don't want to stop doing this just because I'm not working for this organization anymore. And social media just started to take off and grow and all of that. So I thought, why not do this by myself? Why not do this on my own?
Mm.
And so I held other jobs outside of that because when I started, I was not making any money. I was not making anything. I was not getting any recognition. And so I just kept at it. And that's where consistency also comes in. Because even though I held other jobs in other places that were helping me financially, this one was feeding into my passion, the things that I love to do. And so yeah, that's how I started, and that's how I knew that this is what
Mm.
it's what I want to do with my life. Just telling stories, being a storyteller. Choo, choo,
I
choo.
love it. So the passion and then consistency. Love it. Someone says they can't believe that you can be this serious.
It's because I'm fasting, that's
That's
why.
funny. China. Oh, okay. You've not eaten. Ah, Pele. No wonder. All right. So I'll come to you, Merchant China. We were at an event together, and your story just blew me away. I'm like, no, we have to have other women hear your story. So, how you went from just being a regular housewife into growing a multi-million dollar fashion business, right? What changed? What was the biggest mindset shift that just helped you break into what you're currently doing, break free from those financial limitations that you had? What changed? What shifted for you?
Okay, good afternoon, and special greetings to Mama Shares. So, like I always love to tell my story. My name is Uchina Nduka, and I run a business merchant China. And when you talk of limitations, I had all the limitations. I was fatherless. I was from a very poor home, and then when I tell people that when I hear people say I don't know how to beg, I say I know how to beg. I grew up begging. We beg to eat, beg to clothe, beg to do everything. So I'm a professional beggar. If so, I had an excuse because if I turn my neck for you, you're going to give me all the money in your account, because I'm begging. But then having all of that limitations, like they say, when people find themselves in situations, it can make or mar you. So for me, that situation, I would always look back and say to myself, I don't want my children to experience this. I don't want to have to pay school fees for my children and then we have to go from one aunt's place to an uncle's place and all of that. And then when I got married, I saw history repeating itself again. I saw myself sitting at home, and then now I'd gone from begging uncles and aunties to go to school to now saying, honey, netinum, that means my husband, give me, I want to buy matches. Give me, I want to buy salt. Give me, I want to buy. Give me, my slippers is bad. I say, what is this? This was not the plan. This was not in, the entire picture and all of that. And so it took me back to retrospect. I took time to sit and tell myself what is happening. So in that process, two things had happened. One, I was already labeled as the wife that is finishing her husband's. Of course, you marry a guy who is in oil servicing. And I used to tell him that, Daddy, if you're not in oil production, I would have been dead by now. Oil servicing, they're already calling me the woman that is eating her husband's money, because they had seen him go from giving out 100,000 when you call him to now saying, I have a family, I can no longer spend this kind of money. So, of course, even when I don't know that you begged him for money, I bear the brunt, Then the second thing that happened was COVID struck. And this was a story of mine. I was going to tell the limelight, but let me share here. So when COVID struck, I saw a man who would wear tie and suit and all of that, go into his car, go to work, and then his company calls and says, you know what? If you want to stay, you stay. If you want to go, you go, but we can no longer afford to pay salaries. So for 1 year, he was without salary. He was worried, specifically because of his, because of his savings. So he said to me, I have to start driving bold. So I saw my husband go from suit and tie to polo and jean, and in the heat of COVID. And I asked myself one question. If COVID hits this man and dies, what next? That is why for every meeting I'm at, where I'm giving a platform to speak, I ask them, if your husband dies today, the blueprint, yes, I know he works in an oil company, and I said he's going to send the children to do masters in Oxford and Cambridge. If he dies today, you as a woman, can you walk in the footprints of this man? Can you actualize all of that? Because where you see a lot of women, death of their husband, it's not necessarily, yes, they are missing him, but also because they can no longer do the things that they used to do. I was speaking to a friend, and she said to me, the moment my husband died, my children started asking, are we now poor? Why? They've gone from going in convoys to school to now driving, one of their cars that was nothing, all of a sudden became something. So all of these things made me have what I call a reality check. And I sat down and said to myself, I developed the mentality that systems are beginning to depend on me. My children are going to depend on me. People's destinies are tied to mine. If I do not emerge, they cannot emerge. And all of this, did the mindset shift work. And I was able to tell myself, if this man goes in the heat of this COVID, Sapa bien merci, et vous, will happen to both me and my children. And I sat. So when I see people say, okay, maybe at the cost of our questions, because my sitting up was that nobody gave me 10 naira to start business. Of course, I was a Gen Z. So even himself was scared to give me money. And a lot of people say, oh, my husband does not like me. He doesn't support me. And I ask them, do you like yourself like this? Because when he sees that you're all about folding your hands, if you come to him for 10,000 naira to start a business, he's going to say, who has money to throw away? My dear, sit down, because that's all you've shown him that you have to offer. Merchant China did not come from a place of, oh, they now gave us money to start business. You see those people that say, I started with 1 cup of rice. My own was 1 grain of rice, if they are going to classify, because we started from inside oil mill markets. From oil mill, we now went to YKC, and then we kept on building. When we couldn't start at the market again, we now came to the junction. And when, you know, at junctions like that, we used to be somewhere close to Kilimanjaro. Every day, the Kilimanjaro security will come out, bully all, girls. We're not constituting a nuisance around. But that was how the brand started. And so I can, you know, all of that was the mindset shift that happened to me. And I told myself, I need to make it. So I first conceived greatness in my heart. So when I see myself doing things now, I tell my friends that I had already visualized it. You know, my own is different from our own is imagination. My own is I visualize it like I sat down and told myself, this is what we're going to. So now I'm already visualizing stages, UN stages. That's what we want to go to share this story and waken women and tell them that, come, if anything happens, you need to. I shared a story, and I'm going to end with this. In one of the meetings where a woman said, a mentor of mine, she said she was jogging. Her husband was jogging with his cousin, and the cousin was on the main road, and the husband was inside. And at a point, the husband said to him, please come inside, let me go main road while you are inside. And the cousin looked at him and said, why? And he said to his cousin, if anything happens to me now, my wife Korochen, meaning if anything happens to me, my wife is more than able and capable. Your wife might need to go to the bank and start writing letter. Oh, my husband was hit, I need to access his money. But my wife does not need any bank. My wife will airlift me from here straight to the US. When my mentor told me that, I said, that's what I'm going to do. And you know, that's all of it that keeps on making us work towards what we're going to. Thank you.
I love it. 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 Wow. That's such a profound, profound story. And I'm just hearing about even the power of resilience, the self-awareness that you had. For some of you, is not if my husband dies. For some is if your uncle dies, that your rich uncle that you're counting on, or your elder sister, the firstborn that is taking care of you, will you be able to fend for yourself? That's just a profound story, and we're really, really, really proud of how far you've come. Okay, Imelda, let me come to you. You're a member of our community doing amazing things in the feminine leadership space, helping women build their confidence. You've worked with women across Nigeria, Africa, Dominican Republic, right? You've helped them break free from this, what Machanchina was talking about, break free from even limiting beliefs and break through those mindsets. What would you say are the most common challenges that women face when it comes to even their confidence, and how have you helped them? What's that common thread across all women that you've worked with, that you say this is the most common challenge that women face when it comes to their confidence and just being owning their own space?
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Really happy to be here. And hello, everybody on the panel. I was just listening in and taking it in. So I'm going to speak on a couple of things. I think the first one that has been quite significant with people I've worked with is something I coined the Daydem syndrome. And I see this something I've also seen like in our mothers, right? So if you've grown up around maybe like elder women, you hear things like, don't do this so that our neighbors will not laugh at us, so that people will not say that we don't have money, and my enemies will not, say this thing. And somehow that has been passed down to the women that I have seen, where there's a them like this, like, oh, they don't want to step out because of what they would say. And I typically always ask them, like, who is they? And who is them, and why do they really matter so much? But people are always just stuck to act and move and take action because of an imaginary day that they can't even play. So when you put it back at them and say, yeah, who is they? they're like, okay, it's like you ask them back, and then they're just starting like, okay. Another one I would say is actually a skill defect I see a lot is the lack of negotiation. I think women are not taught how to negotiate effectively. I'm going to give an example. For example, you want a I think fundamentally there's a difference between how men and women negotiate. Women typically want to be liked, men want to be respected. So you will see that a man wants to negotiate a pay raise, and he's thinking about it from his aspect of I have a family to raise, I have this, I think I'm but a woman is thinking about it from an aspect of will my boss be offended? How will I put it? There's just a lack of negotiation. And I think it's because women need to understand that in life, right, some things are not given, some things are seized, some things are not given, some things are not handed to you. You have to take them. And I think negotiation is one skill that women need to be trained at because you don't have to be abrasive, you don't have to fight anybody, but you need to sit down and have adult conversations and say, I see my worth here and I deserve this thing. Another one is I think something like imposter syndrome is feeling like a fraud. And I think a lot of times I see this a lot with women of faith. So there's this thing of wanting to be, I think it's false humility. So God tells you you are this thing, like God tells you you are a leader, right? And then they're like, I can't call myself a leader. And I'm like, why? And they're like, and they're looking around and say like, I don't know if I think, and there's just that feeling like a first thing that a lot of women go through. They feel like if I don't, women they don't want to talk about their work. They don't want to talk about what they are, what they're doing. And people need to understand that not like the people who don't talk about, not this, the humility you're trying to it's not humility, right? To not call yourself what God calls you. And that's what I'm looking for. It's not humility to not call yourself what God calls you. And nobody is going to pity you because I don't want to really, if I say it now, they will now think that I am trying to be. Nobody is going to pity you. Just say what you believe that you are. Another one I would say very strongly is an inability to draw lessons from their life. So it's literally a lack of self-awareness. You see people that cannot, you can't look at like you can't see your magic. Like I was telling them, I'm like, how don't you see this thing? How don't you see you're good in this thing? How don't you see you have this thing? But it's an inability to just draw lessons, to just look at themselves, really look at themselves and say, I have this thing, and it's not from just typically just, it's from looking at what you have done, looking at how you show up, looking at yourself and being able to say, this is how I am, this is how I am wired, these are the things that's one of the things I think is a problem. I also think another thing is women emotionalize pain a lot, emotionalize a lot of things a lot. So we are just, we can be emotional about stuff, and sometimes I would say one of the things I deal with is not really like confidence is not static. It means you can be confident. I have a thing I built called a confidence wheel where I basically break down every part of your life into 9 key areas. And because you're confident and work with me, you're confident in your relationships, right? And so there's a you could have been very very confident before, but things can happen to you. For example, your vision can be blurred, can go to through degrees of pain, and can cause you to not see yourself. So it's back to that thing of being able to, that inability to draw lessons from your own life. And then at times they're just emotionalizing your pain. It's like you're just hugging the problem, like you don't want to shift and you're looking for a pity party. Yeah, so I think those are the 5 significant things that I have seen with coaching women.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Imelda. That was really good. I want to just drill further into imposter syndrome, which you talked about, which is very, very common. And because of that, I've seen that a lot of women are not even able to step into leadership opportunities because of these things, right? They feel they're not good enough, or they feel like they're unworthy and all of that. So what would you say? What advice would you give to women that are battling imposter syndrome, right? Hearing all of these stories, seeing all of the things that each of you are doing in your respective industries. For women now that may be on the call listening, some of them are feeling like, yeah, I can't, or what if I come and people don't like my voice? Okay, somebody might be aligned with what Howard does. I feel like, oh my God, I have a lot to share. I can also do this thing, or I have a lot to offer, but they are feeling unworthy. They are feeling like they feel incapable. How do you, or how have you helped women And what practical steps can we apply to break free from imposter syndrome?
Okay, so I would say that you can't talk about confidence and talk about identity because confidence is birthed out on the back of identity. So first of all, you must know yourself. And when I talk about knowing yourself, I'm a Christian, I'm a person of faith. So we can look at it from a place of I know who I am, I'm loved, I'm chosen, and we can end that conversation there. Why I believe that's very key and that's like the fundamental place to start. I don't think that's the only thing about who you are as a person. So there's this thing I do in my called like uncoding your unique wiring, decoding your unique wiring. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to come back to that, but let me just talk about like the steps I want to tell women about. So first of all, is I would say build a brag sheet. No matter how small that you think your wins are, I think build a brag sheet, like I said, because there are times that you need to draw from your own, like your life should inspire your life. I don't know if that makes sense. So let's say you're invited to speak on a 10,000 panel and you've never done
Yeah.
it before, but you've done 100, right? You can say, well, I know that I can do this because I have done 100. So the person that can do it can do a 10,000 if I exert myself. So you need to be able to have a database that you can pull out and say, this is the things I have done in my life. And because I have done these things, I know that I can do this another thing. So that's I think that also means like you have to have a growth mindset as well. So secondly, I'll say self-efficacy. Really, like the more you do, the more you're going to do. So if somebody has done a business before, it's not when they say come on, let me use this speaking because most people have like confidence issues with public speaking. Someone tells you come and speak at a 10-person event and you do that. And the first time you do that, right, you are just fidgeting. But the second time that somebody tells you to speak, you're not going to be as scared as you were the first time because why self-efficacy. The more that you do, the more that you are going to do.
Yeah.
And going to come back, understand your unique wiring. You need to understand yourself in a way that like you cannot be washed out of what you know about who you are. Like you have to build such a strong conviction about what you're carrying. And it's not just a thing, yes, there's a work you would do regarding your strength, your weaknesses, but I believe that our soul is a very ageless entity. And I believe that a lot of times people don't pay attention to what their soul is saying to them. So let me give an example. So I tell people most times that when you see somebody and you are pulled to them, like there's a strong pull to them, your soul is speaking to you. There is something other than saying, oh, I just love DDK, I just love Awa, I just love this person. There is something, it's like when the Bible says deep calls unto deep, right? There's a quality, there's something about that person that your soul is registering that, this is, I don't know, I think like this is entwined, that this is related here. So I think we need to pay attention to ourselves, attention to our life, and really begin to decode our wiring, decode how we show up, decode the things that God has put on your life. That when they wake you up, you just know that this is how I show up, this is how I am, these are my strengths, my weaknesses, my fast chargers, you need to have all those details, right? Aside from just knowing you are loved and you are chosen and all those kind of things. That's one of the things I'll say. So I'll say yeah, one of these things. I think that's what's the other question? Sorry, about imposter syndrome. Yeah, I think the other thing is have audacity in life. I think is building a mindset of why not me. Like when they say, "Oh, come and have this opportunity, come and lead this team," and you're like, "I don't think I'm there." Like, why not you? Like, why can't it be you? Why can't you be the person to lead the team? I understand that there's a place of competence, and I don't actually exclude that. But a growth mindset is that I can learn. I can learn anything. So I have a belief system that my brilliance is expandable, which means that I believe strongly that there's nothing I cannot learn. So as I'm going on the journey, I can learn it, I can do it, I can show up. I may not know it now, but just give me 1 month, give me 2 months, and I'm going to be good at it. So you have to have audacity, and audacity is a 21st century competence for every woman. Like you cannot be, I'm shy. I'm shy is a defect. It's not a personality type. It's actually a problem, right? So you have to build audacity. You have to be okay stepping out. It doesn't mean that you're not scared, because confidence is not I don't feel fear. Confidence is action, is that you step out and do it and you'll be okay. Like I said, growth mindset, if you fail, you learn. So yeah, that's what I mean out who are dealing with imposter syndrome.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That was so good. And the chat is even buzzing with the highlights that you've you've just given us. Thank you so much. I want to now drill further, but for you, Sheon. your business actively, or you actively support female entrepreneurs with, it's about 85% of your SME clients being female, right? So what are the gaps that you would say you've identified in women-led businesses, and how can women scale? Now, I was asking Imelda about imposter syndrome. That's what even impedes women from starting. But now we've started. But how can they scale? First of all, what are the gaps that you've identified, and how that can they scale their business?
Thank you very much, Ngozi. And well, I mean, thank you, Melda, for sharing so much knowledge. And to be honest, I think that she's answered some of the things that I would even speak to. And first of all, is that what we've seen is that women, we undervalue our businesses. You know, the audacity that men have, we need to begin to we need to step into that zone and be comfortable there, right? And like the way we price our products, right? You would, in fact, sometimes from what we've seen, we would have like a female-led business, male-led business, selling the same product, better quality in most cases, but our prices as women are cheaper, lower than, because we are scared. Will people accept it? Will people buy from me? And because of that, our margins are tighter. And I mean, these things have different ways of just keeping us down. We need to be audacious, right? In this, especially when we have our counterparts doing the same thing, maybe not, sometimes not even as much as we do, and getting way better results. So, I mean, one major challenge is, and I'm also a culprit, by the way, just because there's also a place where we want to appeal to certain audience, and because of that, we just undervalue our business. I think that's one major challenge that I've seen. As I've also, and closely tied to that is the fear of taking risk, right? We just one leap of faith, and I think that's one of the things that Imelda said that makes a lot of sense is build audacity, build it. Brilliance is expandable. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that will happen? Like your business fails? Yes, it fails. We'll start again. We have in this ecosystem 2-time founder, 3-time founders, people that are even very successful, have tried all sorts of things. Like some people have sold hair before, it didn't work, they sold clothes, they left it. Now they are doing logistics. If logistics fails again tomorrow, what's the worst that can happen? We have to be bold enough to take risk. There is nothing that says that says that we have to stay in a corner, boxed up somewhere. So I think that's another thing, is scaling requires stepping out of our comfort zone as women. So if we want to scale, we have to be bold enough to do what has not been done. Even if somebody has done it before, do it again. Who says your own will not succeed? And I think that and I think Shalaki also mentioned that is, I don't know whether to put it that we have limited access to networks as women, or we are just not making the most of the network that we have, or we are not seeing the network, how much we can get from the social network that we can build. So I think that this is another challenge that women face. There's so much that we can explore, there's so much that we can get from one another, but we stay in our comfort zone, and we are not keying into the right business circle. And that's why it's very exciting to see what IMMERSE is doing, what HerVest is doing. Like, there's so many communities that offers what you need. All we need to do is just to step into that space. And I think that for women to scale, we have to be intentional about our investment in financial literacy. Like, you're building a business, understanding your numbers is non-negotiable. Like, what does it cost you to, like China's business, for instance, like for her to be able to declare profitability, she needs to understand what the cost of product is, how much it costs her to buy the item, how much it takes to ship it, how much it takes to clear it, the salaries of everybody involved, and all the unit economics, all the small numbers. And we need to understand financial literacy for us to scale our businesses, so that we just think that we are making profits when we're actually recording losses. or because we do not have visibility into what we are building. We also need to leverage technology as female founders. See, at the end of the day, you cannot do too much with manual processes. You can't, like, how many people can you possibly reach through WhatsApp? How many phone calls can you take? If your vision, one of the things that China says that everything that she wants to achieve or she achieves, she has already envisioned. If you're envisioning greatness and success, right, the real work has to go into it, and it cannot be done through manual processes. Technology would help you scale. If you're a small business owner, launch a website, put products there. You have more people. Like, you can have 1,000 people access your website at once. You can't take 1,000 calls at once. You can't respond to 1,000 people on WhatsApp at the same time. So we had to leverage technology. I mean, at first, when we launched with 2 bikes. We were taking at least just 10 orders per day. 10 orders per bike per day. So it means that, and it only makes sense for us to even get one person that can give us 10 orders. And we will cut it off at some point to say that we cannot take more than 30 orders again for today. But like, how many lives would that touch? How much can we possibly make from it? But today, you need to build a platform where if 10,000 orders comes in one day, you can fulfill it. So, and that the only way to be able to achieve those numbers is through technology. And I think the last thing I would mention is joining the right network. And Imelda had mentioned something when she was explaining to us how to beat the imposter syndrome. And one of the things that that as she was talking that popped up in my head is that you have to surround yourself with people who gas you up. Like, you cannot be people who the only things that they see about you are your weaknesses. You have failed. Hey, God. No, people who gas you, they give you a lot of energy to say, go again. You can do, you have done it before, you will do it again. That's the right network. People who, see, they will call you out when you're doing something wrong, but they are like an army backing you up to succeed, giving you all the resources, connecting you. Oh, there is a funding here for women. They are sharing the link. They're giving you access to the platform. There is an event here. There's a conference there where we can connect to more customers. They are putting your names on the list of attendees. So we have to join the right network. To scale, I recap, invest in financial literacy. We have to leverage technology, and we have to make sure that we have the right network, the right support at all times. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. And the last point just reminds me of what Sholape was talking about, social wealth, when she was speaking on the 4 dimensions of wealth. So profound. Thank you so much. I want to ask a question to Hawa on the social media and how social media has created opportunities for people, right? So I know that there are so many underrated ways where people can create wealth through social media. So you've been in the space for a while now. For someone who is looking to get into that space, what are some of the underrated ways? Somebody will be like, first of all, do we not need to demystify the understanding behind influencer? What does it even mean to be an influencer? Oh, I'm not an influencer, right? Or I'm an influencer, I'm not ready to be an influencer. So what is this whole story behind influencing on social media? And for someone who says, oh, I'm not an influencer, or I don't want to be an influencer, what are the other avenues that someone can take or use to assess wealth and profitability actually on social media beyond the passion that you have? The reason why you're still doing what you're doing is also because it's becoming profitable for you. So how can women also utilize digital platforms to attain profitability?
Okay, sorry, I forgot
You're
my
muted,
mic.
Hawa.
Yeah, my mic was muted. Sorry. So yes, I was saying that with social media, channels to make money or channels by which you can make money is so much, and social media is so vast. For example, that word influencer, A lot of people will just call themselves influencers. There's nothing wrong with being an influencer, and there's nothing wrong with not being an influencer. I do not like to refer to myself as an influencer, not because I don't want to be called an influencer, but because I think that when you're going into social media, you need to know what you're going into social media as, and you need to know who exactly you are, because then that will guide your money making your money making channels and the way that you can make money. So for example, I was talking to someone who is quite popular on social media, but the person said they don't take brand gigs. So for example, a brand will come to me, I'll do an advertisement and all of that, but they don't take that. They rely on the platform itself paying them. So for example, TikTok pays creators, not Nigerian creators yet. YouTube pays Nigerian creators. And so they rely on those channels because they simply do not want to take brand gigs or they don't want to advertise for brands. And so I think it's very important. There are some social media content creators that have crazy influence on the people that follow them, people that watch their content and all of that. But there's some people that unfortunately do not have that influence, but they are very good at content, at creating content. And so I think that there are so many ways. On social media, I've been paid as a writer, I've been paid as a content creator, I've been paid as a digital creator, I've been paid as an author, I've been paid as an actress, and I don't even act. I've been paid to do so much on social media, but you just have to know where your money is coming from and how you can keep making that money. And that's why financial literacy is very important. And that's why it's also important not to only focus on the now, but you have to also focus on the future. And this is where earning from platforms come in. So in YouTube, for example, I'm not yet monetized on YouTube, but hopefully this year I'll be monetized. But with YouTube content, it's like it just keeps coming in, it just keeps coming. As long as the content is up, it just keeps making money. And so but you have to have knowledge of your finances. You have to be financially literate to understand that, oh, okay, I can't focus, even though maybe big money might be coming in now, but you also have to, prepare for the future and all of that. And in preparing for the future, you need to study the social media platforms that you're on, make sure that it works with your goals, right? Nobody plans to die now, so you have to prepare for your future. Also, for women in particular, I think it's also very important, like Sheon said, to have crazy audacity. You have to have mad audacity. You have to look someone in the eye and tell them that you want 20 billion and they have to give it to you, right? Because I see before I signed under management, I was very afraid to ask for a certain amount of money. I was very afraid because I was just like, and I really related to what Sheon said about how women don't talk themselves up. I don't know if it was Sheon that said that or Imelda, sorry. But women don't, a lot of women, right? I don't want to say women because there are so really successful women that talk themselves up. But a lot of women tend to think that they're not doing enough. This is why women tend to work twice as hard to get the recognition that maybe a man will get. And this is not to bring men down. It's just the society in which we live in. When a woman is asking for this kind of money, because I remember one time I asked for a certain amount of money and someone told me that I'm a woman, I should not be charging that much because a man is still going to give me money anyway. So I'll add it to what you give me. So it will make it. And I was like, what does that even mean, right? So women get these comments all the time and it doesn't make any sense. So, and that's why, especially because you're on social media and you're competing with other women and also other men, and you guys are in this field together, you will see what they will pay a male creator that doesn't do half the work that you do. And you'll be flabbergasted, which is why they will test you, but you have to stand strong. They'll come out for you nonsense. But and so it's also very important for women to understand the industry that you are in. And because it's very easy for people to say, oh, a woman she's sleeping her way to the top, she's doing this, she's doing that. You get the accusations when you get to the top. Just be prepared for it. So you might as well, make the money that you want to make legitimately, and also understand the environments and the fields that you're playing in, so that when your mates are going, you're also going with them, right? So that's about it. I think I've said more than you asked me to say. I've said more than you asked me.
Thank you so much, Howard. That was really, really good. And I I have no follow-up questions about that. It was just straight to the point, hit the nail on the head. So thank you for that. It seems network is unstable. My next question was for Merchant China, if she can hear me. China, please confirm if you're with us, if you can hear us, and so I can direct the question to you.
I can hear
Uh,
you.
okay, great. All right, sorry about that. So this question it's building on what I asked Hawa about profitability. I see how you also try to help entrepreneurs really scale their business and build profitable ventures because you've been able to build one yourself. So what would you say are some maybe top three mistakes that women in business make when it comes to growing their business into becoming profitable? That's one. It's a two-in-one question. The second part is, how do you balance creativity with profitability? Right? Your marketing is top notch. I enjoy the way you market. So how do you balance being creative and becoming profitable in your business?
Okay, top three mistakes men make: inconsistency. A lot of them are not consistent. Come out today, they're not there tomorrow. A lot of people don't also know where to draw the line. Inspiration and visualization. You know, so you when you want to come out and you come out wearing the person's exact same shoes, such that people see you, they automatically know who you're copying. You know, this person inspires you, but you're not coming out with anything. There's no tweak in your creativity. You just follow through whatever the person is doing, word for word. The person shouts, you shout. The person jumps, you jump. The person raises a hand, you raise your hand. So a lot of them don't know where to draw the line. And then finally, marketing. A lot of people are not aggressive. And when I mean aggressive marketing, people usually think I'm talking about fire for fire, diamonds. But no, when I talk of aggressive marketing, I'm talking about being dogged in your marketing, trying to make sure that you're following every channels of marketing. You're doing offline, you're doing online, you're doing marketing, you're doing search engine marketing. Anyhow, you're just making sure that you're putting out your brand. So that's like top three I'll say that women make. And then there's another question you asked.
Yes, how do you balance creativity with profitability?
Okay, so I would say that when we want to come up with new products, we come up with new products with purpose. So people just sit and say, I want to innovate this year, but they don't understand. That's why you see when they want to switch, it's difficult. So we started off as a streetwear brand. And then when we're innovating into ladies' wears, we could sit down with ourselves. We did not go into perfumes because my target audience were mothers. So okay, the mothers have eyes on my page. And then the next thing is, what can I do that will also benefit not just the children they're buying for, but equally the mothers. So we could grow from putting things in selling for not just, so we grew from selling for not just children, then transition into selling items for their parents. And we grew from the women, the women into the men. You know, we kept transitioning, but our transitioning happened with purpose. We did not just sit down and say, oh, this person that is selling kids has added maternity and you add maternity. No. This person that is doing this has no. Anything you're doing has to happen with purpose. Then I think I heard someone talk about setting financial goals. Initially, I did not know what it was.
Yeah.
I think until I sat down with a mentor and she told me, she said to me, she said, I have a story to tell you. And she told me the story of someone who was prominent in selling palm oil and had, kept on just putting their money into the business back to back. That's the mistake a lot of people make. They don't tell us that when we started business, they didn't tell us that you have to bring out a certain chunk of money and invest in something else, devoid of your business. So we went into business thinking, just keep rolling over, just keep turning over. So when we hit a rock in December, it occurred to me that I had made a mistake. I said to me, I'll tell you the story of someone, how this person kept on putting money into the palm oil. And when the person hit the rock, it just went from up to down. And she said, that's what's happening to you right now. It's like just when you were here and you just went down. But she spoke to me. And then in January, 1st of January, she said to me, she said, these are the financial goals I want you to set. So we sat down, wrote those goals. And when I looked in February, how much we had smashed. Because sometimes you need to go to the bank and tell the bank, I want statement of my account. So you see all your total credit. That helps you tell yourself that you are not small. So she asked me, go to the bank, get your total credit. You want to see every money that came in. And I'm like, oh no, we have a record. Just go to the bank. So when it was, compelled, we saw the figures and I'm like, where's this money? And she says, good. This is where you need to start setting financial goals. So by February, when we saw that we were setting financial goals, I could easily see that the goal for December was possible. When I started setting the financial goals, I never knew that December was possible. What she told me that I'll do in December, I never saw it. It wasn't feasible. But because we set the goals and we followed through the goals, by February, in February, I sat down and told myself, by December, this one is more, I'll be able to achieve this. And then good structure, optimizing operation. I realized that a lot of people, sometimes when I leave my store, people are like, how are you able to leave your store? I said to them, something must you. So we woke up in January and said to ourselves that I want to build Uche Nanduka devoid of merchant China. And I had to sit down and make sure that I started cutting off all the loopholes in our business. And no, we're not there yet, but where we are is really good compared to where we were. So strong operations. And just like my machine said, rather, you are using technology to make a lot of things better. We are not there yet, but in all honesty, we're not where we used to be. We see ourselves keep pushing, trying to get better and all of that. And finally, valuing customer retention and market expansion. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is we keep chasing after the new customers. But the honest truth is that the old customers, excellent. Trophy. They're a trophy. Like, my new customers, them, but my old customers, I don't like them ever angry. If they just call us and say, oh, we have this issue, we are following up immediately. What is the issue? How do we solve it? How do I make you happy? I remember we had a case recently and I told the man, I said, you know what? I'm selling this, but I'm crashing half of the price for you just to make you happy. I'm using my hand, because sometimes, yes, even when you have the good structure, sometimes you need to come back into the business because it's you that knows how you started that business with. Not sit on the CEO level, sit on the ground level and understand what is happening. So I was able, sometimes I want to see what they're doing with customers. I want to see everything. I say, submit everything to me. I want to see it.
And then I'm able to, this person laid this complaint. What's happening? Why didn't we follow through? Recently, we woke up, somebody was tagging us all over social media. I said yes. When I came into the office, I said no salary this month. Everybody said, well, sorry, ma. I said yes, because you made somebody complain and then take this complaint over to social media. Though we had people backing us up, I was super, in like 2 hours. In what's 2 hours? 20 minutes, I had solved what took them months to solve. So sometimes you come out from your CEO chair, come down from your high horse, and sit on the ground level and have proper discussions and conversations with your customers. Know how to serve them better. Know what you did one time that they did not like. I remember recently, I ordered. Most people just brought it today, and I'm like, the people are so fast, so compared to before. So you can see that I was like, Mama Show has improved though. No, my order is here. So you keep on checking what people don't like, and that's because I'm sure that order came fast, because there was a time when Mama Show talk. I said, Mama, this people used to delay my order. She said, don't worry. And now the order came really fast. I said, okay, maybe they now know that. So that's it. You keep on working to make sure that you're doing your customer retention and, of course, market expansion. Thank
I love it. I love it. And Machanchina, I can listen to you all day. The passion in your voice is just really, really inspiring. But we don't have all day, so I want to ask a final question to all panelists here today. And this one, please, just in 1 minute. In 1 minute, what is one lesson that you want every woman listening here, or man, because we had a few men join us, what's one lesson that you want them to take? I'll start from Imelda to Sheon to Hawa and then Machanchina. One lesson that you want a woman to live with today.
So I'm going to touch back on Audacity because I saw a couple of comments on it and people were excited, but I don't want you to leave here with just saying grow Audacity. I want to tell you how. So Audacity is birthed from conviction. You can't say you're bold about anything if you're not sure about what you're bold about. So and the same thing with vision. Like the reason why you are audacious is that you have seen something that people are not seeing, and it's that thing that you're seeing that is fueling you to move. Right? You can't take action if there's nothing powering you to go. For example, Chena said something. She said that, if she got to a point where she's like, saw her husband and said, no, I don't think I want this life, right? You have seen something, you have a vision. And this is why men are audacious. Men are audacious because when they are coming to negotiate on the table, they are saying, I have people to feed, I have children to pay fees for. And that's vision because they are seeing something in front of them that they're like, I need to negotiate a pay up. So you can't be audacious without having conviction about what you're moving towards. It's not going to work. What's going to happen is that when you go out there and you are doing your ginger, they will not tell you, who do you think you are? Why do you think you're talking? What do you think you deserve this? And you will go back home and cry and you will shrink back and you say, maybe I'm not competent. Maybe I need to do 42 courses on leadership to first step out. Maybe I need to first get this kind of maybe John Maxwell leadership certification, and you will get it and you will still not show up because there's a problem with vision, there's a problem with conviction. So while you're excited about audacity and asking for what you deserve, if there is no conviction, it will fall. Because when you are challenged, because it will come, people that are you're too much, people who are doing too little, people who are not doing so much, they're like, what's your own? Like, why are you so right? And you need to have something that you're rooted in. You've seen beyond just where you're at, and you're like, this thing I have to get to, this thing is important, this thing has to be heard, and you keep on shouting. For example, if the house is burning, you're not going to say, you're going to keep shouting to anybody else that the house is burning because you have seen something, vision, conviction that everybody must get out of that house or else they'll get burned. So while you build audacity, have conviction at the back of it. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, Melga. So for me, it will be that. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Sheon.
Okay. So for me, in closing, it would be that no one will advocate for you better than you. So, I mean, we need to hear your voice. You need to speak for yourself. You need to own your success. Ask for what you deserve. Be bold. I mean, Awa has said it today. Machanchina has said it. Imelda has said it. Be bold. Be audacious. But we've also learned that, audacity is better from conviction. So ask for what you deserve, be convinced that you deserve that, and take up your space unapologetically. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Hawa, let's hear from you, please.
Mine is like I think like Imelda and Michelle have said, yeah, move mad. Don't listen to society, and most importantly, don't rely on anybody. As a woman, don't leave your livelihood in the hands of another person. It doesn't. A man, a woman, don't ever. You have to, and that's why you have to move mad because you always have to show up for yourself. Um, and the purest form of love is self-love. So you have to, and that's why you have to make sure that you're on top of your game financially, because there's nothing worse than relying on someone and waiting for someone to give you permission to live your life. So give yourself permission to live your life. That's it for me. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Machanchina, over to you.
So for me, it's going to be fling away self-doubt and fear. Carry the week. I want you to see yourself. So I'm going to liken us to a woman who is in labor. You know, when you're in labor, if we have some women who have children here, and you see the woman in labor, she goes to the hospital, probably just like me, and says, "Oh, nurse, I'm in labor." The nurse says to her, "You are not in labor. Because why? You are still well dressed. You are still in your comfort. You're still well kitted. When you are in labor, even the nurse will know. You don't need to tell her. Because when you come, number one, you will fling your wig. Number two, it's like they will wear you wrapper, you say no. They will wear you gown, you say no. It is like something is burning from your within. So you do not have to wait to get to the end stage of labor before you take your life serious. The end stage of labor is likened to someone who the husband loses his job, and then that is when you begin to find what to do. At that point, anything that meets you, pure water, gari, akara, you start frying it. You don't need to get to the end stage of labor. You start from beginning. Once you see the sign, do you even need to see the sign? Forget about sign. The moment you put your eyes on that goal, from this night, it is a huge taboo for you to sleep well at night. I tell people, how do people sleep well at night? I wake up, I'm like this because there's somewhere I'm going to. I'm looking at, I've not gotten to that place. So I've not even crossed half of it. It makes me lose sleep. It makes me sometimes I just on Christian music and all I'm doing is cry. Have mercy on me. There's a place I'm heading to. There's a place I want to go to. So that is what I want you to be. The woman who is flinging away self-doubt, who is flinging away fear, and who is saying to herself, there's a place I must go to. And start now to put herself under pressure. You start now to put yourself under pressure because the life you live, you probably don't want your children to live it. For me, when children in a car and I take them to school, that is premium because I never went to school in a car. So these things should drive you. What are those things? Any day I put my children in a school outside the country, I give testimony in church because I never schooled outside the country. So these are the things that should put fire in your bum. You should no longer sleep well because there's a place you're heading to. And that place is the top. And there's enough room at the top. And any day you arrive, we are still going to tell you congratulations. So get moving now. Thank you.
I love it. That was a good place to just wrap it up. Thank you so much. This panel session has been so inspiring, so enlightening, so heart burning, right? I'm living here, and I believe it's the same for even the audience, just feeling empowered literally to get up and get moving. There's so much fire burning in my heart hearing from each of you and in the hearts of everyone listening. So thank you. Thank you to Imelda. Thank you, Sheon. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Merchant China. We're so grateful. I can't even imagine the sacrifices that you all made to be here at this time. So thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge on behalf of IMMERSE Coaching Company and HerVest, our partners. We thank you for being here and sharing with us. We're looking forward to making you all proud by putting to work and to good use all that we've learned. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of Live Away Conference 2025. Like I said at the beginning, for those who have been wondering what Live Awake is about, it's basically giving you the drive that you need to live audaciously and live boldly. And I believe that's is what you're living here with today. Thank you all so much for your time.
Personal power.
Vika!
Visionary vibe.
Vika!
Majestic mastery.
Vika!
Excellent execution.
Vika!
Remarkable resolve.
Vika!
VCAP has helped me and my team members put structure to the whole, to navigating that goal and getting to that point at the right time.
I joined VCAP because of the Big Head Tribe, and I have been audacious. I have done it afraid. I was bold. I overcame my fears and did the things that I felt like I could not do.
My biggest win has to be stepping into the limelight. It wasn't something I was comfortable doing. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do in the background. But my vision required that I stepped up, and VCAP empowered me to actually do that.
Turn your vision into a breathtaking reality. Discover the secrets to executing your vision with precision and clarity, building unstoppable leadership and influence, creating a lasting impact that transforms lives. Gain free access to 2 VIP coaching days with DDK and Tarafella Durotoye, and the VCA High Tier Execution Program to unlock the potential of your vision. Imagine a world where minds are transformed, lives are changed, and societies are elevated.
My name is Modupe, and I connected with DDK about 18 plus months ago when my life was pretty much in a rut. And I can say that between then and now, I have grown so much depth. Interacting with her again on this level, envisioning 2022, has been nothing short of being mind-blowing. I think for me, it's been affirming. You know, it's affirmed my thoughts, my decisions, my plans even for the future.
I am short of words, literally. I expected it, but I mean, the program went beyond my expectations, from confirmations to networking to seeing things that people have told me before. I mean, we expect a lot from DDK, but coming here and being in this room, there's a different sort of energy that I am living with.
The whole retreat was really about becoming. And there was something DDK said that struck a chord with me that I know that I'm living with. That's to say, you know, you have to shape your world before you can shape.
I felt relieved, I felt directed, I felt that like I could see my future self right in front of me. It was like I was dreaming in the room.
Are you ready? to unlock the visionary in you. Join us for life-transforming events. The Majestic Manifesto, the Gen Z Edition, and the London Coaching Retreat 2025. Register now and start your transformation journey today. If it cannot enter your mind, it cannot enter your life.
Personal power.
Vika!
Visionary vibe.
Vika!
Majestic mastery.
Vika!
Excellent execution.
Vika!
Remarkable results.
Vika!
VCAP has helped me and my team members put structure to the whole, to navigating that goal and getting to that point at the right time.
I joined VCAP because of the Head Tribe, and I have been audacious. I have done it afraid. I was bold. I overcame my fears and did the things that I felt like I could not do.
My biggest win has to be stepping into the limelight. It wasn't something I was comfortable doing. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do in the background. But my vision required that I stepped up, and VCAP empowered me to actually do that.
Turn your vision into a breathtaking reality. Discover the secrets to executing your vision with precision and clarity, building unstoppable leadership and influence, creating a lasting impact that transforms lives. Gain free access to 2 VIP coaching days with DDK and Tara Fella Durotoye, and the VCA High Tier Execution Program to unlock the potential of your vision.